Hello, and welcome back to MIRRORMOURN. I'm your Dungeon Master, Esper, and we are continuing with the adventure that we started last session. So we're actually in the midst of a dungeon right now, and there's already been some danger. Let's introduce the characters and get into all that. So, anti-alphabetically, we have...
Every time you're going to get me with this. Warsor, that's my name, and Dimico is the character I play. He is a level 1 Firbolg monk.
I'm Vince, and I am playing Vapor, the level 1 wild magic sorcerer. That's an air Genasi.
Hey, I'm Nick. I'm playing the level 1 fighter, Elluin Drakestone.
I'm Adam, and I used to be first with my A name, but now I'm last, and I'm playing Aygir, who is a Hobgoblin Artificer. We're all level 1.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Oh, and just right before we jump in, I do have to make a final announcement about my Kickstarter. I'm entering into the last 4 days, 3 days, something to that effect. So it's at the very end. I've got a link down in the video description. It's for my 5e book that has all kinds of stuff that I'm creating for it. Monsters, a new class, subclasses, magic shops, cursed items, spells, feats, races from the land of dreams and nightmares. It's a bunch of stuff. So go check that out and take a look, and let's do this. So you all are beneath a ruined section of old Castle Aygir. So if you remember, the city that we have been in so far, this campaign, is the city of Barnacle. Barnacle is its current name. Its original name was Aygir. It was a giant realm. Giants ruled this realm, and were rather tyrannical, as giants tend to be. And they had a massive, sprawling castle complex. And then elves, led by House Drakestone, came from a different realm, and they had been at war with the giants for quite some time. The siege of Aygir lasted for quite a while. It had a protracted siege, as sieges can be. And elves, who were allied with gnomes, deployed all kinds of tactics and strategies, some underhanded even, and eventually defeated the giants. Nowadays, so that was like almost 150 years ago. Nowadays, much of Castle Aygir has been converted over to the city of Barnacle, which is an elven settlement, and it's got all kinds of unique things going on with it. And there's a ruined section, a large ruined section of the old Castle Aygir, which has not completely been cleaned up, and it's called the Crumble. And you all are investigating a section of the Crumble which had been hidden, it lay sealed off or undiscovered or unknown for all these years. And it was a bit of a squeeze and a crawl to get into this place. But once you got into it, it opened up, right? This is a giant structure. So corridors and halls are massive, and you feel like little mice scampering through a mansion. And the idea here is that old Circanus Spindle's homunculus, Dunca, had been around this area and heard talk and boasting by an outlaw gang known as the Crossroaders, who are they're not really from Barnacle. They're from a different region of this land called the Lattice. So a different part of Haven Isle, I should say. So apparently their leader, Lamy Longstock, was boasting that he's the Night Stalker, the killer that's been taking the lives of different Barnacle residents, including his recent victim, the older brother of Elluin, who was Sir Rourke Drakestone. No, I'm sorry, not Sir Rourke, but rather Rourke Drakestone, squire to the prestigious knight Sir Pin Drakestone. So this is personal for Elluin. Your mother begged you not to go off on a delve by yourself, to join up with the proper group of soldiers and knights. You did your you had your own prerogative, and you didn't follow her wishes, and you left her sobbing on the floor and joined up with your allies, and you have been exploring this place. And let's see, you came across a corpse, an old skeletal corpse of a giant here with its rusted accoutrement. And there are creatures down here. You came across eggs that sprayed poison, and from the eggs, at least one of them burst out a little monstrous spawn. And then you've come across an older or adult one, like a medium-sized one that spit poison and bit pretty voraciously. Vicious, nasty monstrosities, quick things. Dimico even had a close call. Dimico, how are you doing?
Dimico has the wounded 1 condition, I believe.
You have
right?
a wound, so you have a level of exhaustion.
Yeah, I have a wound. Yeah, so he has a level of exhaustion from the wound, but he's back on full health again. It's just he's recovering still. He's not fully healed, and I believe that we were going to pull out because we can't catch the creature. It's too fast. It's just running away. Basically,
I think the plan was to sort of retreat, regroup, get some,
or at least in a measured sort of a way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Panther, this monstrosity has been assailing you. Now there actually were 2 of them. You slew one of them. So you've slain one of these adult monstrosities, but the other has harried you sufficiently that you've decided it's probably best to change your tactics.
Yeah.
Especially since our characters, I assume, would realize the in-character equivalent of what out-of-character translates as us having burned all of our spells or spell slots.
Yeah.
You're getting worn down. You're getting very concerned or perhaps nervous about the situation. And there's this constant whooshing, gushing, geysering sound that resonates from a chamber not too far off that you haven't found it yet. And the air has an acridness to it.
Oh yeah, those are the geysers that we originally tried to go to, but then
all great information. Let's leave.
Yeah, let's go.
In this chamber area, there is a haze, a fume that, while acrid and irritating to your airways, doesn't seem to bear any immediate harm to you, and it creates a lightly obscured area. You had come from down here. So I'm going to just move your tokens. This is the light area of somebody, I think, cast light on a pebble or something.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Also, so during this, Aygir is lagging just a little bit behind the rest and sort of thinking out loud. What is that noise?
Nick.
That tapping noise.
Nick, could you not do that?
And after the tapping noise subsides, he thinks, well, could there be just one more secret that this place could hold? Could it hold the secret that could be of use? And he's kind of looking around and just a little bit like tempted into seeing if there's just one more thing he might be able to find, one more like hidden secret of this ruin. He's not so keen to just leave, and it perhaps even at the point of a fault or a flaw, just lagging a little bit behind, looking at every possible, running his hands along walls, tapping for secret doors. Looking at any loose tile, examining water drips, all that kind of thing. I don't know if anything will come of that, but that's what he's doing.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and make an investigation check just for kicks?
All right, investigation check for kicks.
Yeah, I guess you can do perception. It just kind of depends on how you want to do it yourself.
Well, investigation or perception?
Yeah, it's just a matter of your approach or your tactic that you.
You're right. For investigation, he is. His head's in the right place. His heart's in the right place, but his head's not quite in it. That's a 10.
There's a lot that you could look at here.
Yeah.
Your taps and prods and gazes and peeks and listens really just are nearly overwhelmed with the veritable array of fire giant architecture, structural damage, little roots of things coming through cracks, piles of rubble, smells, sounds, rusting, desiccated skeletal corpse of a giant. There's just so much, and your party is urging you along that you don't really come up with. You don't come up with anything tangible and specific. You feel like you could probably spend a lot of time here to properly investigate this.
Probably spend a lot of time just poking around that giant skeleton, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, he'll allow himself to be or to catch up to the rest after a while.
The party regroups here on the landing, and Dunka, the homunculus, looks at you all. It seems rather
I believe
disturbed that
that
you all look concerned.
Duncan, we need to regroup for now. We've worn ourselves out, and there were a few monsters and traps in here that we did not expect.
The homunculus wrings its little hands and looks this way and that. And it actually gets behind your party, like closer to what would be the exit.
Okay. I guess we'll follow it, unless
it's not leading. It's just
it's
picking
behind
up on
us.
your nervousness, and you mentioned threats.
I see.
So it kind of got behind you all.
Gotcha.
Well,
gotcha.
Elluin, you seem to be keen. After you, then.
Yep, Elluin will lead the way out of the dungeon.
You round a bend, and you walk down that same corridor, and it is in the same condition. It's a strong structure that was built, but it has not been maintained or repaired for ages. A siege happened, so it does have some bits of structural damage or even sections that are ruined. Your steps, your shoes and boots echo down this massive corridor as you make your way, and Dunka flaps and scurries here and there and sticks pretty close to you all, sometimes just in front, sometimes just in back, and he seems a little on edge. And you eventually come to where there is a jagged, broken gash in the wall up kind of high, where you all had jumped down after crawling through a little, we'll call it crawl space. And then there is also the corridor stretching ahead of you, which is a direction that you had not explored. And Dunka seemed to indicate that he hadn't gone that way before either.
All right, but we make our way out of the underground area, like we're on the outside now.
It's up to you all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Elluin,
Okay, so you're getting up to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think Elluin would
raise your
definitely
hands up, or maybe jump up, pull yourself up there, and you have to crawl through this claustrophobic tunnel. It's not a proper tunnel. It's just space between collapsed rubble, so a little snaking air pocket, and you crawl your way through on hands and knees until you come out of a crack in a stony block on the surface above, in a tremendously ruined section of the crumble, with topple down walls and old vine, overgrown with vines and crusted with lichen ramparts. And if you look, you eventually see where the castle just rises up, stacking towers and keeps. And, these are proper areas where elven families live to these days. And really a large portion of the population of Barnacle, lives within what's called Long Keep, which was this massive palace, palatial, many-floored section of the old Castle Aberg. But where you are, you just kind of see the bits of spires and crenellated ramparts in the near distance, and your immediate surroundings are just a mess of stony rubble and blocks taller than 3 men.
Now, out of character here, what all proof do we have of the existence of the eggs and those weird creatures? Dunka saw some of them, right?
Well, Dunka was not with you at the place that you encountered them.
Right. So we don't really have any hard evidence.
What does hard evidence matter?
Yeah, I feel like
just in terms of, because I guess we're probably going back to Connor's spindle, right, and telling him what we found.
I don't think he.
no?
I don't think he.
I didn't get that impression.
Okay. Well, then where are we going?
That's what I thought we were going back to Conda Spindle.
I thought we were getting out to recover.
Oh, and then going back in.
And try this again.
Oh, that's an option too.
We didn't even make it to our goal. We got to the first encounter and hit a little snag, and we just need to regroup and tackle it now that we have knowledge of what the creatures do and what those eggs do. We can probably handle it. Also, now that someone can ranged attack with spells.
Hey, I'm committed to my brain.
Well, should we have a drink then?
Yes.
Back down there.
Yes. Let's set up a short little setup here, and we can recuperate our abilities.
Dimico's been very quiet this whole time. He's just been kind of holding his side, where the thing hit him with, it was an acid attack,
Poison.
I guess. Poison. Yeah, he's been holding his side and just kind of limping along.
Once we sort of set things up, a minute, sort of a makeshift campsite, because we're not doing a long rest, I don't think, unless you guys wanted to. I was expecting a short rest. Are we? Is that?
Well, that depends. Would we? Because Nico is going to be down at least with 1 exhaustion, which requires a long rest.
That's true. Yeah. So maybe we.
And I don't know what your hit dice is. We might not be going. We might be going back in with just putting a Band-Aid over a missing arm, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess in character then Elluin, once we're getting things set up, he'll say, how long do you all feel like you should rest? I think that about an hour for myself would be enough, but if you all think that you need a bit more time, Dimico, are you feeling all right?
I can continue if need be, but the poison left its effect on me.
Now, a level of exhaustion out of character, that gives you a disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, or is it just ability checks?
Just ability checks at the first level of exhaustion.
Yeah, that's relevant, though, because these guys are doing dex things. All right.
Not saving throws, but just ability checks.
Oh, just ability. I see.
All your skills, your initiative, any just raw ability check you might make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elluin then will look up and say, all right, if you think that you can continue, Dimico, then I believe that a short rest here should be suitable, unless anyone else has more or thinks that we should take more time. But I would like to get back in there before they perhaps have more time to recuperate themselves.
I have a suggestion. You all just mentioned vapor and a ranged spell. It sounds like maybe Aygir is working with vapor to help finish his mastery over utilizing this spell.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They are indeed old friends from out in the cloud steppes, and they do have a similar affinity with sort of air and lightning. No, Vapor. No. You're doing it all wrong. It's like this. The first part of the incantation sounds like incomprehensible gibberish.
Vapor's just looking at you. Just tell me how the weave flows here. I don't need to know the entire breakdown. I just need to get the feel for it, and then I should be able to create it on my own from there.
Well, when I do it, each time I have to use a separate sort of tool. See? And he pulls out an awl and summons the lightning onto that, and then he sort of transfers it into a little jeweler's loop, and then holds that in front of his eye and looks at you with a blue, glowing sort of ball lightning gaze, and then he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a coin that's flickering with the magic. You see? Each time it is different. You need to learn how to use different tools at your disposal.
Well, I don't go to children's parties to show off my magic that way.
Nah,
Like you do.
this is not for children.
But why do you
Children
need
get
so many
shocked,
tools and so many different ways to cast a simple spell?
Because all magic is created. Whether or not it exists in the world, you summon it to yourself in order to use it. It is a thing of artifice.
That's not right. He's wrong.
You're wrong.
Aygir,
Both wrong.
I would like you to make an insight check.
All right. Wisdom is not as great as it used to be for other characters. Well, okay. It's a 14.
I love that low charisma character.
That's sufficient. This is not a difficult task. You pick up on the fact that Vapor told you that he needs to be able to feel the spell, and your technical explanations are not helping him. What is an emotion or a physical
Esper just wants you to shock
sensation
him.
that you feel when you cast the what is it? The storm bolt.
Okay. Think about this. And he holds up the awl with the lightning flickering around it, and then he takes his hand and he slaps Vapor on a part of him where he's not looking, and just transfers a little bit of it to just kind of, just shock him a little bit and give him that sudden sensation of, I guess, surprise.
Vapor falls to the ground, convulsing in pain.
It's like lightning.
Vapor.
It's like lightning. It's a sudden discharge of electricity that you get from like a burst that creates static.
Vapor, you feel this jolt, and it ripples through you. It hurts a bit, and you feel an emotion of surprise. What is a memory or a time in your character's life, in your life, that you felt a sense of surprise? Something that you really felt, like that sense of wonder and awe, like maybe it took your breath away.
Oh, he would have possibly one of them stumbling across one of the gods in one of the geysers out in the curtains. Finding out they actually were living within the geysers themselves would be a sense of awe and wonder to him.
This memory comes back into your mind, and you see the image in your head of the geyser's eruption and the god of the geyser, the deity of that location, and the sensation that rippled through you probably made the hair stand up on your head or the back of your neck. You felt a ripple, like a lightning-like sensation of emotion run through your body, and you tap into that and pick a target. Literally pick a target around you. Right now.
He's going to do Aygir just for the shock.
Okay.
Actually, no, wait. He would do Elluin.
It doesn't have to be a person. You
Oh,
can
okay. Then he would do the wall.
I was going to say, wait, you're gonna attack
So
one of us
you
with a
shoot
storm bolt?
out a bolt of crackling electricity, and you almost target Aygir, and it like buzzes, snapping right past your ear and blasts into the block there. You now have figured out how to cast Stormbolt. That connects with you much better.
Well, see, now you've learned.
I have a
I guess all you needed to
question.
do was feel it.
I have a question about Stormbolt. Can it actually target an object, Or is it like Eldritch Blast and many others that can only target a creature?
Why not? It can target an object. I don't know.
All
I
right.
don't know how much
It's established.
damage.
It's canon.
I don't
It's
know how
canon
much.
You created it.
I don't know
So
how much
it's-
damage
it's,
it's going to do to a chunk of stone, but whatever. You
Right.
leave a scuff mark on it.
To establish canonical rules here, it is a 60-foot ranged spell that does a d8 damage like Shocking Grasp, but it doesn't do the stun for a round. It can attack creatures and objects, and it's an attack roll that has advantage if the creature or object is wearing or is made of metal.
I'm just saying, one of these days we're gonna shoot a pool of water and electrify it, and like we'll be able to use this. Yes.
Excellent.
like
I
a
should have
giant-
gone
or
with
like
the
a
water
giant-
one,
or
and then
like
we
a-
could really have had water
Va-
Genasi.
Vapor
Like
will
a
tap into
giant metal
his
structure.
electric eel spirit animal. Okay.
We basically turn a cantrip into a mini fireball.
So you all have accomplished a short rest. During this hour, you haven't seen any other creatures or people, and nothing particularly of note. The important thing was the vapor getting the grips onto the cantrip. If anyone wants, you can spend your hit die to recover hit points.
I only was down 1 HP at this point, so I think I'm good.
I love at level 1 your hit die, your one
Yeah, you're
hit
one
die.
hit die, yeah.
Because sometimes you get hit and you die. At
Indeed.
level 1.
Indeed. Fingers crossed here that Aygir continues to not take any damage.
That's true. All right.
Yeah.
After the short rest, Elluin will get up and say, "Well, if all of you are feeling up to it, I think that we should get a move on back down there and try and perhaps be a little bit safer with what we know is down there. These monster egg trap things that are down there."
Should we try to avoid them?
Yes. I think that's what we should do. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not going to go chase. So we're not going to chase the creature.
No, I don't think so. I think it's best that we try and avoid them as much as possible and only fight if needed.
It is a fool's errand to go hunting for
I just wanted to be
Game.
clear
when
what
you
our
are
goal
looking
was.
for answers.
Agreed. Well, let's get to move on then, and Elluin will sort of like, I guess, get it, like pick up his sword, pick up his shield, and start crawling back through the entryway.
All right.
Having taken some time to regroup and recoup, you all crawl back through the little ruined crawl space and one by one plop back down into the old hallway of once upon Castle Aberg. Dunka continues to skittishly flick and flitter about your party, and you all, I think, are returning, is what it sounds like, to where you had just been prior.
Yep. We're being, well, I would assume, at least Elluin's definitely being a lot more careful about corners. Probably not just like walking out into corners anymore. Sort of like being careful, looking around.
That's
Does not-
smart.
yeah. Does not want to get sprayed with any more acid.
Ah, I see you
Things get
being more.
moved around.
I see you being more cautious now, Elluin. Looking around corners and such. Looks like this one isn't the only one who learned something recently. He points at Vapor.
Vapor
And
just
indeed, it is
shakes his
often
head.
in moments of
Before I
great-
forget,
Oh, go
Esper,
ahead.
the eggs, when you got sprayed, it said they left some sort of like residue behind that smell.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, does Vapor still smell?
I believe so. Let
So
me
he's
look.
trying to cast prestidigitation constantly all over himself to get rid of that smell.
Actually, after 1 hour, it's not so pungent anymore.
Well, he's still casting it to get rid of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you still stink. It's just not a rank thing that is exuding and probably alerting the creatures.
Yeah. I guess like when we get down like there, Elluin would definitely look to Vapor and say, it seems that Aygir has taught you some kind of new spell. Hopefully it comes in handy during this what's the word? Adventure, I guess.
We'll see.
I just imagine Vapor is like Febrezing himself constantly, just spraying Febreze with the cantrip.
What kind of plants live down here?
You've seen roots.
Is there a nearby one that looks like it might be dead?
Okay. Yeah, most definitely.
Aygir reaches over the wall, yanks off a little dead chunk of root, kind of bends it a little bit into a shape, and whispers something into it, and then hands it over to Vapor and says, "Here, you keep doing that. It's awfully distracting. This will help." And he uses a use of magical tinkering on it to cause it to emit an odor. In this case, we'll say lavender or something actually nice.
Vapor's going to take it, smell the lavender, and just go, "Oh, it's not as bad as whatever that crap I was covered in before."
Now you
Vapor,
can
you're
stop thinking
smelling
your
much
hands
better
about.
now.
You guys-
the worst of the rankness of the stench has faded, and you now have this aromatic perfume root on your person.
Do you guys know those like things that you put in a car to like make your car smell good? I feel like that's just what Aygir did to Vapor. He just like
hung it on
Yeah.
Vapor.
yeah, exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
evergreen scent,
I mean, yeah, depending on how specific this magical tinkering is, maybe it's like
We're gonna
lavender,
get to
but a
the
little bit
bandits
too
later,
intense. Yeah, it's like a little bit too
But-
like air freshen-y.
So
But
we're gonna be sneaky up on the guards later, and they're gonna be like,
They just
"Did
smell
you change your
lavender.
perfume?" Yeah, they're like, "Did you use perfume?" Sorry.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got a
tell me
stage
about-
lighting. What are you
tell me
talking about?
what your tactics are here. Are you just walking ahead just to see what you bumble into? Or are you doing something specific?
Elluin, I mean, I feel like we kind of know where to go at this point, like to back where we were. But he's definitely just like looking like being more cautious around corners. Like he's not just gonna walk out into a corner anymore.
Yeah.
So I think we should go up to the point where we hit the fog, but not go close to it yet, because it could be hiding in the fog.
That's a good idea.
So I think we should stop before we get to the fog, Esper, if you
Let's do
can
that.
get us there.
Okay.
Like, get us to the corner right before the fog.
Is there any particular grouping or formation, any order that you're in?
Elluin's probably in the front. I don't know if anyone's going to be next to him.
It seems fine how it is.
All right.
Well, might want to trade Vapor and me. I would trade Vapor and me.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Ahead of you is, again, this fumed chamber. It's not opaque smoke, but a lightly obscured vapor of some sense that is clinging and cloying about this hall up ahead.
So
The sound of the geysering spatters resound continuously at erratic intervals.
What were we going to say?
I just had an idea, but I don't know if Dimico would say anything. It's up to you. How do you want to proceed?
Elluin will cautiously proceed forward. Doesn't seem like there's anything else to do other than just walk forward. Obviously, again, not walking around corners just immediately. He'd be looking around them first just to make sure that there's no acid poison.
Go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage?
Due to the light obscurement.
Oh, wait. I do have dark vision.
It's not a matter of darkness.
It's
okay.
It's the mist. Let's see. With the disadvantage, I have a 14.
Oh, I have a really low roll. I only got like a 3, I think. Yeah, a 3. Good thing Dimico's up here with me.
Anyone else? Nope. Okay. All seems, other than the echoes of spattering sounds, all is quiet and still, as far as you can tell.
Right. I guess we continue moving forward.
So there are a few different ways. Now, this way you have gone a bit, and this is actually where you slew one of those monstrosities.
Mhm.
The central corridor and the northeastern and the southeastern one, you really have not ventured into much at all. Maybe you've gazed down this one a little bit to see that it connects up there.
I have a suggestion. Should we go the way that we did before when we chased the thing? That way we complete mapping where that goes.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. That was my thoughts, to just go back to where we were before.
Go to the northwest, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, exactly.
I'm going to remember that this is the order you all are in. I know we probably rotated at certain bins.
Don't even worry about it. You're fine. We get it. You'll rearrange us when we get to a place where it matters.
We'll do a little rearranging thing going on.
Yep.
And you could continue down westward, or you could pop up to the north.
Corner peaks. We gotta do the corner peaks, especially for alcoves, like the one to the south.
I'll remember anytime
Eggs
you
could
come up
be-
to a corner, you'll kind of stop and cautiously look around.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
I would say to the left then.
I agree. No.
So you cautiously continue looking, listening, trying to be careful about your goings, and you look about these different sections. Nothing really catches your interest until you get to here. And we have in front Elluin and
Dimico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both you two. So both you two will see this.
That's when we see the giant
Oh, boy.
skeleton.
Okay. Let me.
That sure is one giant skeleton.
Like if these are like the aliens from the movie Alien, he's gonna have a burst open chest.
You see down here in the dim illumination that monstrosity, or one of its kind, and it is gnawing upon or chewing or eating what looks to be a corpse of a giant that's in pretty bad condition. It's all the more horrific when the corpse of the giant actually shudders and convulses a bit and lets out a agonized groan.
Oh shit.
I mean, I don't know about bad condition. It seems to me that if this giant's been down here dead for over 100 years, that's actually a startlingly good condition for a corpse to be.
Wait,
So I won't give you more
dead.
details because you're at a bit of a distance, but that's the basics of what you observe.
Oh, wow, so it's still alive. Oh, boy.
It could be still alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my character wouldn't know this, but there are magic items that will make you not need to eat or drink. Assuming you can age naturally long enough, you can survive in a sealed environment. You know.
Yeah, Elluin will sort of like whisper and look back and say, I think one of these giants' corpses is still alive.
You think what? A living corpse?
Yes, it's being eaten by one of the face suckers. I don't know what to call them.
A living dead corpse being eaten by a live monster.
But if it is alive, I think that we should at least try and help, perhaps.
You are a weird elf, wishing to save a giant. Your former tormentors, opponents in the war.
Well, maybe not all of them was so bad, and even if it was bad, I can't stand aside and just let something that's defenseless be tortured like this and being eaten alive.
Well, if this one's living dead, that's not natural. I don't know that we should meddle.
Well, this hallway is very straight. It does provide us our best chance of fighting it if it comes to attack us.
Shoot it
There's
and
no
then run.
corners for it to run away behind.
Well, sounds like
I would
a plan to me.
say perhaps see if we can sneak up on it quietly. They can't see, so it's all about hearing. And when we get to a certain range, we'll know how far their hearing extends. Because we don't know how far their sight abilities, their senses reach. Usually, I
They
would
also
say
might be
maybe
able
like
to smell.
maybe like 60 feet might be safe beyond, but we don't.
Yeah, I think we should try and sneak up on it. Quick question, Esper. I don't know. I don't remember the rules. Does chain?
All right.
Does chainmail give us give you disadvantage on stealth? I don't remember if chain. I know
It does.
It does.
Yes.
Okay. So if we are going to sneak up, Elluin would look back and say, if we are planning on sneaking, I probably shouldn't be in the lead. They're going if it is spotting us by sound, I'm going to make a lot more noise than the rest of you.
Here's Elluin sneaking.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so a couple of you have tossed out the idea, maybe sneak up on the thing, attack it from range.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Are you all for that, or is there a second idea that someone else wants to propose?
Vapor would be down for that, not wanting to get close to these things.
Yeah, Aygir is in agreement. That seems the most logical. This is a nice straight shooting gallery, essentially.
Yep. So your entire party is going to creep ahead as quietly as you can, and then fire at the thing from your whatever max distance you can shoot, right?
Seems good, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so here's what I'm going to
I mean,
do.
you guys have 90 feet, I think. Yeah.
60.
60 with a shock.
The people with the shock cantrip should be 90 feet.
What is the... I actually did not write down the range for the light crossbow. I think it's 36.
Light crossbow is 80/320.
Oh, it's 80, 320. Okay, so I got plenty of range.
So you can fire with lower accuracy, to albeit at a pretty far distance.
Yeah.
All right, 60 is there. Okay, so it sounds like the whole party is going to try to be within 60 feet, yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, why would we get to 60 feet if the range on the shock cantrip is 90?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we should only get in. We should get in range.
It's 60. It's not 90.
Why did it get lowered to 60? It was 90, I thought.
It's the original proposal was 90, and we settled on 60 after last session.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah.
So we're trying to balance it out with Firebolt, and I think we did a pretty good job.
All right, so we'll try and sneak up to around 60 feet then.
Okay. So why don't you all make dexterity stealth?
And I have disadvantage on
it for the
and I do too.
And the exhausted.
Oh boy. That's really bad. That's a 3.
I got dubs. They're both 2s.
So we both rolled terrible. Yeah, I rolled a 2 and a 12. So
these become 3s. I rolled a 3.
I do have inspiration, but I'm gonna not use that for stealth roll. Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, well, okay. So I could saving face is the Hobgoblin thing, where I could add a bonus to that of up to 5, up to the number of allies within 30 feet, which would be 3. So I don't imagine 6 is going to.
I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, I'd have to spend inspiration before that, though, right?
All right. So Aygir and Elluin have failing checks. What about Dimico and Vapor?
Vapor got a 14. He said in the chat.
14 for Vapor.
Okay.
I mean, what am I going to do? I could throw a dart at it, I guess, at disadvantage. I would just ready an action.
But what was your stealth?
Oh, stealth. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a stealth.
Yeah, we're doing stealth checks.
Because I didn't hear, what you were saying. Let's see. Stealth. I rolled terrible, too. I got a 7.
Well, so you all round the corner and attempt to creep along, and it's not quite so quiet as you had hoped. Vapor is the only one who succeeded against the passive perception. The creature here lifts its head out from the muscle, the flesh and the sinew that it is gnawing upon, and like a strand of it, comes off. It points its head, its eyeless head, in your direction, and it goes on alert. Do you all keep moving?
I think if it's just like sitting there, I would stop moving immediately.
Yeah, Aygir's going to stop and put a hand out.
Yeah.
Just for a moment.
Yeah, just like sit there because it can't see us. So if it's just, it might just think that it heard something, like in the caverns,
You're pulling a horror movie move where we freeze and the creature. We're just hoping it didn't hear us.
Exactly.
Now, this is something I haven't thought about in a while. How far can normal characters throw items, like small items?
Oh.
If they can be thrown, there's going to be a range.
Just tell me what the item is, and we'll approximate it off of an existing.
This is a stone that Aygir used magical tinkering on last session, which has the sound of the geysers coming from it.
Oh yeah,
I forgot. 10 feet away.
I forgot that you did that. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if you've got a stone, you can throw a stone pretty far. If you're not trying to be accurate and hit any specific creature or spot, how far can you throw a stone? I don't know, like what,
60 feet?
100 feet?
60 feet, I'd say, maybe. Seems reasonable.
Aygir, you throw the stone out?
So he's going to pull the stone out of his pack. I've got the plan. And, of course, the sound of the geysers becomes audible as he pulls it out of the bag, and then he's going to chuck it down to the end of the hallway, or as far as it'll go.
Okay, you throw the geyser sound emanating stone out here. Sounds like you're just kind of throwing it as far as you can.
Yeah. With the hope that it ends up within 10 feet of the creature, or at least passes within 10 feet of the creature at some point.
Make a strength check.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I didn't totally dump strength, just flat strength.
Excuse me.
All right, that's a 12, but with saving face, that's a 15.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right, you hurtle the stone, and it lands pretty close to the creature. It has been sitting there, a quadrupedal thing, sniffing and listening, it seems to be. And the stone lands, along with a sound that's emanating from it. It reacts to that. It flinches back a tick. And then it comes forward. Comes forward a ways.
How close is it to us at this point?
Are you doing anything at this exact immediate moment while it's going to see what the sound is?
No.
No? Okay.
Or at least Aygir isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, Elluin's not either. He's just waiting.
You wait there for a time, and the creature goes away. It doesn't stay around. It heads this direction. I'm just going to pull the token off because you don't see it anymore, but it goes around this direction over here.
Gotcha. Seems like your plan worked, Aygir. At least in some sense.
Well, you know me. I know a few things about some stuff.
All right, well, let's push forward and see what was going on with this giant.
Yes, but don't get too close. I don't like the idea of living dead.
Mm-hmm. Elluin, I don't know if Aygir is going to re-pick up the stone or...
Oh, well, actually, so Aygir, I don't think is going to get within 60 feet of this thing. Because 60 feet's good enough to see and good enough to shoot that spell, but not so close that it could, like, reach us in one move.
Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah.
It's truly alive. Don't go any closer. If it's truly living dead, it's unnatural. I don't want to get close.
Well, we have to go closer to look at it. There's no way we can tell from back here.
Elluin will say, "Here, you stay back. I'll go take a look at it, and if something happens, then back me up."
Your funeral.
I'll come with Elluin. So Dimico walks up with.
Elluin and Dimico approach the body on the ground.
So, Vapor, Which one do you think it attacks first?
The body is in a gory, disgusting state. Much of its flesh and muscle and fat and skin has been eaten away from the torso and the limbs. It does have some of that battle armor on, but it's old, rusted, pitted, and much of the armor has actually been pulled off, like ripped off of it, and is scattered about the area. You can see in there a lot of the viscera and organs are still intact, in place, even like with their little pulses, and you can see like a heart throbbing in there. The head is wearing an old rusted helmet that's still on the head, even though it's got some damage, and the face seems mostly unharmed. And you hear a ragged, labored breathing.
Elluin will speak up and say, in like a whisper, and say, how long have you been here? It seems that you're unlike the other one that we saw down here. You actually seem to be slightly alive, or some kind of life.
It disturbs slightly, and you see one of its eyes crack open ever so slightly.
Dimico.
What language do you speak to it in?
I'd probably doing common.
There's no
comment.
So Elven?
Or Elven, yeah, I guess, yeah.
I
definitely
giant.
I do
I
need
was
to
gonna say the giant.
I was actually going to ask. I've been meaning to ask this. Maybe this is something to talk about later. But I kept forgetting to. Like I had like so because of my race or my race and my stuff. I had like common and celestial, and then one more language because of my background. So the common is like the Elvish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then like would celestial still be a thing?
Sure.
Okay.
Cultural language.
Yeah, the other language, like
Maybe you could do that a little bit later because it's kind of killing the tension of the scene.
yeah, sorry.
So you just said that to him in Elven.
It cracks one of its eyes and gazes in your general direction. The eye seems like not a focusing lock. It just kind of rolls half conscious looking at you.
I look to Dimico and say, you know giant, correct? Perhaps it would understand you better than I.
I don't think it's really conscious, but okay. And Dimico starts speaking a language that you don't understand. And it's the more guttural, like, giant, but he was taught his giant by his parent. So, it's more like, I feel like this would be like an ancient dialect of giant, Esper.
Okay.
So that's just what I imagine it as.
Mm-hmm.
Are you alive? Are you in pain? If you can blink, if you can understand me.
It seems to be having a lot of difficulty speaking, but it's recognizing your speech.
Yeah. Can you blink once for yes, if you understand me?
It blinks.
Good.
He blinks. A bearded fire giant head.
Mm-hmm. The creature was eating you. Have you been down here all this time?
since the siege.
The siege, which was a long time ago.
Aygir walks up to this. So he's speaking in giant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you saying to him? You can talk to this?
Yes, it's just talking in giant. And then I go back to giant and I say, we came down here looking to find some small people. There are tunnels near here that we are trying to get to. But perhaps we could help you.
In my suffering.
Is that what you wish? To die?
Beware of the demons.
The demons. Where? What demons?
They have eaten of my flesh.
Those creatures. We've killed one of them, and there are many, many more. The eggs. Is there some way to kill them better, or some way that we can stop them?
Wield your own strength. They will perish.
Okay. Should we go towards the geyser noises? Do you remember the noise of the geyser? Is that the way forward, or is that where the demons live?
The word. Tell me you can use my hex tile.
He says a word that you've never heard before. Aygir, to you it sounded like he said hexatile, and you're vaguely familiar with it. It's a kind of giant key. Not exactly a key, like a...
Well, mind you, I heard
but it works kind of like an
hexatile.
activator.
Right. Although I don't speak giant, so
I
I did hear, blah blah, bleagle, warble.
You still heard that word, like it still stuck out to you, like from your artificer knowledge is what picks up on it, or maybe
I don't know what that is, but maybe.
Did he say hexatile? Is that what I heard?
Yes, that is the word that he said, but I don't know what it means. He said that we can use his hexatile.
It's a sort of a key, an object that opens things or causes machines to work.
I believe that he has a hexatile that he wants us to end his suffering, but he said that can open the way. I turn back to him in giant and I'm like, you have a hexatile? Is that right?
Yes, it will control the orb.
I turn back to Aygir. I'm like, some orb? The hexatile will control some orb?
So he's not dead?
No. I think they've been keeping him alive somehow to feast on him.
But he wants you to kill him.
I mean, he looks like he's in agony.
True.
He probably needs to be sent to his final end.
I'm sorry, you said something about an orb?
Yes. I turn back and I start speaking in giant. The orb. What is the orb?
Incomplete. Much incomplete. The elixirs are incomplete. They work, but are imperfect.
I'm kind of like, I have a high wisdom, like a very high wisdom, like an 18.
You pick up on the fact that he's semi-conscious. You also pick up that his psyche seems completely shattered.
Yeah, no, I have an idea of what these elixirs and all this connects to. And I'm just going to throw it out there. And Esper, you tell me if I'm like, that's a really wise thought you just had there. He seems to be alive despite life-threatening wounds. Like any other fire giant should be dead.
Yep. Also, another detail you're noticing as you're conversing with him is the sinew and flesh is very slowly like quivering and regrowing.
Yeah, so he's got the Prometheus thing going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I was gonna say the orb makes an elixir. This elixir.
No.
And no?
No. We're drafted the troll's blood, the wonder berries, and more. We didn't have time before the fucking elves unleashed the Belai plague. I did what I could, but they were imperfect.
The elixir is imperfect, but is that what's keeping you alive?
Yes.
So if it's troll's blood, then it's like you're a troll. It's growing, it's keeping you alive because you're regenerating.
But at a cost.
What cost?
Are you doing so much? Kill me. Why do you prolong my life?
He seems to completely lose patience and temper.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a raging or a berserking effect, but he doesn't have
the ability to move.
He doesn't have the means to actually move himself.
What did you
is he
say
making
to
a
him?
lot of noise?
Yes, he is.
Elluin's going to look at Dimico and say, Dimico, what did you say to him? He needs to be quiet. We can't have a lot of these things coming to us.
He wants us to kill him, and he's not happy that I haven't killed him yet.
And what, did you also insult his mother?
No, I just was asking him about the orb and the elixir that apparently he drank. That's why
Did
he's
he
so
say
alive.
where it is? The orb, the hexatile, the elixir?
He has the hexatile. It's
He
on
has
him. Yeah.
Ask him where we must go before we end his suffering. We need to know, but we can't have him making this so much noise right now.
I look back to the freaking out giant. I look at Elluin. I look back to the freaking out giant, who's probably not going to listen to anything I have to say. Is that accurate, Esper?
Yeah, just for the sake of my own vocal cords, I'm not going to.
As this like goes on and on for a bit, like Elluin doesn't really want to kill this guy, but since he just keeps going on and the noises are getting louder.
Dimico takes a spear and steps forward, and he looks for the heart, and he's going to try and stab his spear into the heart.
You plunge your spearhead into the heart of the giant, and blood spurts, and it begins to spasm, and it gurgles its last and perishes.
So, Dimico,
coup de grace. All those milestones are mine.
In your infinite wisdom, did you get it to tell us where the orb is?
It didn't answer that question. I asked, but it didn't answer. It was too far gone.
Father Thunder's windy thoughts. You didn't even learn where the orb is. We have to find it now. Where's the hexatile?
Well, are we here for the orb?
That might help.
I thought we were here to find some guy that killed Elluin's brother.
Oh, right. But there's an orb and an elixir.
Well, the elixir is...
We are in the middle of history. We are...
What elixir is this? The mention of elixir, Vapor's going to perk up.
The elixir is troll's blood and wonder berries. It's something they were working on before the...
Don't you need to burn trolls to prevent them from regenerating?
Well, if they die, then they won't regenerate.
But I've heard stories of animals eating flesh of trolls and
elixir,
trolls glowing up.
He's not a troll. He's a fire giant.
But if it
he just-
regenerates him, would not your spear wound be regenerated?
I pull the spear out, and it's like still dead. I assume.
It is dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's not really a troll. He doesn't have the troll regeneration. The elixir wasn't complete. He said.
Why was he even drinking such an elixir in the first place, Dimico?
I think they were trying to get the true regeneration of a troll on a fire giant because fire giants are immune to fire.
Mm.
And if they had a regenerating troll-like creature that's immune to fire, maybe that would let them fight the elves better.
Do you tell Elluin about the that plague that they were talking about?
The plague. Now, Esper, correct me if I'm
We
wrong.
seem to refer to these creatures
Demons.
as a plague of
That's
demons.
exactly what I was going to ask you. I'm pretty sure he meant the creatures. But
Because I heard the giant say something when the elves unleashed the plague or something.
The Bale Eye plague.
Yeah.
We know from last time from our nature checks on the eggs that the elves took these creatures from somewhere else and set them here as a infestation. It was like a bio-warfare tactic that they used, basically.
Okay. All right.
So while they're conversing, Aygir is already starting to examine this body and see if it has any useful things on it, any interesting like artifacts, and also where, of course, the hexatile is. Because I imagine this fire giant isn't just like wearing only decayed clothing. There's probably some armor.
I mean, Elluin would help look as well.
Well, you two are looting the body. Dimico walks up to the head of the giant and slowly, like with both hands, closes the eye, if the eye is still open. And he says something. I don't know if I have like an exact prayer from the mother, the sea, but may your body give nourishment to the young world that you are leaving now, or something along those lines.
You have sent the giant to his final rest and put an end to the horror and the madness. Meanwhile, Aygir and Elluin pry through bits of rusted plates until they find a hexagonal shaped tile with on each side is a giant rune of magic. One seems to identify with an acidic energy, the other to a fiery energy.
Aygir, do you happen to know anything about this sort of artifact?
Well, I know it's called the hexatile. And so what exactly would he know? Has he read about or heard about these
It's a giant rune stone, and it will be attuned to some kind of magical mechanism and functions as something of an activator / deactivator.
And with, say, a history check, would I perhaps know anything more about this particular one based on like diagrams I've seen before?
It seems fairly standard from what you have seen before. You'll probably just be looking for an indentation or a groove that matches up with its shape, and you put the rune into the slot that you wish to control that energy. You've been hearing the geysering effect, so the first thing you're thinking of is this acid is going to keep geysering until I deactivate it with the acid rune.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And since fire and acid are like the two.
Actually fairly. I'm not going to say fairly rudimentary because it's that's some pretty impressive tech, but it's not overly complicated.
Well, I think that's best you hold on to this. You seem to know more about it than the rest of us.
Oh, really, Elluin? Do you think it's best I hold on to this? Do you think it's best that I, the one who knows a little bit about how it works, should keep it. You, in your infinite glory, you think that maybe I should keep this. Oh, great and wise, smart,
yes.
all-knowing one.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, I got that. I think I'll hold on to it if it pleases you, Your Highness.
I guess another bit of lore worth noting is that supposedly there was an original cluster of magnificent hexatiles that old giants used to grow some of the mountainous shapes that the goblins dwell in, because they are these, massive crags built up, composed of basalt hexagonal pillars that cluster together.
Okay, well, that's extremely relevant. In that case, Aygir was still spouting off that stream of coarseness at Elluin, but he was a little bit distracted as he was doing that, because he's probably been just like looking at this thing with Gollum eyes, because his tribe are from near one of those things, and those are of intense interest to him.
So you have in your hand a much, smaller scale and specific variant of one of these giant rune stones.
So, Dimico, did he tell you his name?
No, it didn't come up. He was kind of dying in agony, being eaten alive.
Poor man. I shall call him Biggie. For lack of a better one, unless you have a better name.
I mean, I check him for a name tag. No. It's like we turn him over and he's got like his name on like a tag. It's like my name is.
It's written on his foot.
Montoya, you killed my father. Prepare to die.
He was just a pharmacist. He was working on the Troll's Blood elixir when the attack came. Yeah.
He's got Andy written on his foot. All right, yeah, I'll just put that as Fire Giant's hexatile then.
Perhaps we should move forward. We don't want to sit in one spot too long,
especially after all that noise.
Yes.
Well,
all more of those things.
Yeah, when I asked him about the geysers, he said that's when he brought up the orb. So maybe that's where the orb and the geysers are linked somehow. I don't know. But we should probably keep going. Yes, I think we should not stick around here.
All right. Onward.
Okay, so which way are you all inclined to venture?
Well, I think just straight ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think the way that the creature went, hopefully it's not waiting around the corner, but if it is, then we'll be ready when we do the corner peek.
Yep. Oh, yes, the giant's with us. He is our comrade now. Bring him, Esper.
Clearly, I just need to drink or eat his heart, and I'll gain, his power.
Yeah.
That's right. Can I have a giant's fire giant strength if I eat his heart?
We could try and take his armor off and like all get into it together.
I mean, it would be rude not to eat his heart. I feel like
Esper,
disrespectful.
Does he have a belt? Does he have a giant's belt that we can put on? Is that a thing so that we can get the?
Yeah, all giants wear the giant's belts. They're actually really weak without the giant's belts.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
When they're born, they get one made custom for them. That's where they come from.
Exactly.
So, Elluin, you find his belt, and Dimico, you're looking at his heart.
One of these has the strength of giants in them.
My spear is got giant blood on it, I guess, now. So, yeah. Does the blood look anything special?
I guess nothing of note.
Okay.
Actually, I would think there's a few potions that might have it. Vapor might know of some. Alchemical uses for it.
Okay, I don't know any alchemical uses for it.
There are different corridors going from here. One heading this way to the east, one going south, and there's a massive root that has come through a crack in the wall. Seems to loop back around to where you just had just been below you. There's
would
a
like to
alcove over here where you see some
eggs.
Not eggs. You see
Oh.
there are furnishings. The wall has cuttings and markings in it.
Gotcha. I would like to make an active perception check just in case its stealth is better than our passive.
Okay.
Just every time we come to a corner, it seems like the way to go.
Yeah, I'll do that as well.
So I take an extra moment to listen and look, just in case it's like hiding, waiting for us to step out.
I'll also do that. I'm not very good at perception, but it doesn't hurt.
I got a 21, which is much better than my passive.
I got a 7, which is much worse than my passive.
Well, that's fine. It just means you were distracted while you were looking around.
Yeah.
Aygir might as well take a look as well. Although definitely doesn't.
Dimico,
I think
you
it
hear
makes
the sound of quiet footsteps or paw steps, maybe we would call it. It doesn't sound near to you, but it sounds, going down this direction.
Down that way. Yep.
Doesn't sound close, nor does it sound like it's approaching.
Okay. Yeah. So long. The main reason why I did this is we went the same direction that went before. If it was just hiding in wait, I feel really dumb if we just walked out, assuming our passive perceptions were enough to beat an active stealth check. So, I think I say to the others, I hear the creature, but it sounds far away.
All right, let's continue forward then.
Okay.
As long as it's not going to jump us.
We're going towards it, kind of, but it seems further below us. I point in the direction I heard it.
All right. Let's go down. Let's go in that direction then. Because it obviously knows the caverns better than us. So. Yeah.
It can circle around and pop out behind us if it really wants to.
Yeah.
If it knows exactly where we are, it probably wants to avoid us as much as we want to avoid it. Hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So we'll go down southeast.
Just straight, kind of. Mm-hmm. Oh no. Well, is that where you wanted to go?
No, I was thinking to the
straight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
which way did you want to go? East?
So
to the right. To the right of the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I could see going down there to check out the stuff on the wall, but maybe not this moment. I want to kind of outline the borders. Nothing at that little.
Yeah, nothing so far, and I understand that you're being cautious and perceptive as you go, but you don't come up, you don't notice anything, and
we go.
Basically map out what seems to be a perimeter corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's cuttings of giants of old, and their greatness and their domination over elves and dwarves, but you don't see any active creatures. Dimico, the thing, seems to have circled around this way. You heard it pad around that way.
So it's just basically avoiding us. It seems like.
The gushing, geysering sounds resound evermore from the south.
I think we should continue going that way. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, let's keep going.
Just stick to the outside. The long corridors are better for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Just a quick note. This area here looks quite like a giant's workshop. There are furnishings and fire giant benches of old, compartments that are closed.
There's
a variety of things in there.
Aygir has already been, without a word, kind of poking around and digging around in there, just sort of looking under stuff and behind things and seeing what
might. You're going to go get jumped by a devil. Got it.
Probably, but
you're actually going in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
All right, Esper.
Well, wait. When Aygir does start to walk forward, Elluin will. He's not going to stop him, but he's going to put a hand on and say, Aygir, perhaps it's best to not go in there.
Oh, why is
Well,
that?
well,
Are you afraid?
we've been jumped by many of these things, and the longer passageways are much safer for us.
Plus, there could be eggs in there that hit you when you walk in there.
Yes, I don't think that you want to get acid sprayed on you again. Well, actually, you haven't got sprayed on you at all. You don't want to get acid sprayed on you.
Well, why don't you go in first?
Well, I don't think that.
If you're truly so concerned with safety, I'm sure an armor target like you would be a good one to lead the way.
My armor didn't do much help last time, and I don't think that I don't think that we need to look around in there, at least at the moment.
If there are answers about this hexatile, they're going to be in there. I'm going in there at some point, whether you like it or not.
That's fine, but we're here first to find the killer of Elluin's brother. So
I suppose you're right.
we can come back and check it out, but we should. It's more likely that any exits from this place would be on the outer walls rather than the inner, unless there's a staircase. But that doesn't look like a staircase.
Yes,
Looks
I
like
get.
a workshop.
Yes, I understand that you're interested in this, and as am I. But let us proceed more safely first, and if we come back here, then we can take a look in there and uncover more information about this hexa. What's it called again? A hexa?
Hexatile.
Hexatile. Yeah.
Aygir just responds with, "Not if, pretty boy. When."
Yep. Elluin will nod his head and then continue down the.
All right, so Aygir, you have been convinced to be patient, and the party continues around the.
This time. we come to another. We come to another room that's like very similar. He's just like, all right, this time I've got to go in.
That's when it gets, aliened.
We just see Aygir with like a face hugger on his face. He's just like,
"Well, this isn't normal." Okay, Dimico,
Still worth it.
The creature seems to have scampered off this way.
That's fine.
It's avoiding you all, as far as you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, we did fuck it up really badly. If it had stood its ground, it would have died.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not a stupid
stairs.
creature. Yeah.
Are you looking down here?
Yeah. I think we're being very cautious around these kinds of situations with corners and things.
Yes. You carefully make your way onto the staircase. These giant steps that really you have to kind of hop or brace yourself and go down them. Before you is a large chamber, the largest you've come across down here. And you probably don't finish going down the stairway entirely, as you are assaulted with an increased intensity of the acrid, acidic quality of the air. On a dais of sorts, there is an orb, and the orb seems to be composed of liquid acid itself, a ball of rolling, bubbling, almost like a fountain in spherical shape, and at erratic intervals, it sprays. It seems to come to a fullness and then erupts from itself and gushes a greenish fluid about the entire chamber that has eroded away the walls and even eroded away much of the floor, where it sprays and drips and pools to the extremities of the chamber.
This is the geyser stone, right?
Yes, it is clearly magical, as just mere instants after it hits the ground, and as soon as it starts to pool up, it just dissolves and just fizzes away into nothingness. It's eroded badly, these deep grooves in the floor. It's kind of loud in here as the geysering resonations fill the space. Even the orb itself has a gurgling, bubbling, hissing noise to it.
Aygir looks at the acid rune on the hexatile and just kind of looks down at that and then up at the geyser, back and forth a couple times, and just says,
Dimico looks around to see if there's anything nearby that's not affected by the acid? Obviously, the stairs and the plinth and everything. Was there any other places that aren't affected or hit by the acid?
The entire chamber would be really.
So
there are stairs over here which look very much like the ones you're on.
Okay.
So it's not really
as long as you stay at least up here on the stairs, you're not taking any immediate damage. Imagine
Is there
these stairs for a while, it would start getting to you.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there's a really good way of getting in here.
Well, here's a question. Is this on an interval, Esper? Like every 2 rounds it erupts? Is it every...
Okay, so it's an erratic interval. It could be as frequent as every single round or as spaced out as like every, say, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So almost like a D4 is being rolled every time to see if it erupts when it erupts. Huh, that's weird. The gods were so systematic.
There are, there's a law. There are laws. There are systems to this universe that make things function and flow.
It's fine. How far distance-wise is it from one stair? Can you measure? Give us a little, if you wish to. I don't mean to ask for knowledge that I wouldn't necessarily.
You could
have.
eyeball it, and it looks like about 200 feet, maybe a bit more because of having to your path that you'd actually walk.
Yeah. What to get to the orb? How far is it to the orb? Just out of curiosity.
Looks about 50 feet.
Maybe 80.
Looks longer than 50.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we're in a giant layer here. Everything's big.
Yeah. Is there anything near the orb other than the orb that like the hexa thing would fit into?
You notice nothing of the sort. No, the walls themselves have just been eroded away, so there's none of that iconography or anything.
I think we should turn around and not go in here. That's my thought.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't want to get acid on me.
It looks very corrosive. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back and check out the other way.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we've revealed almost
there was
all
the
of
iconographs.
Yeah, we could actually. I mean, this might be a good idea to actually check out the workshop at this point. See if there is.
I was where Esper is pointing. That's where I want to go. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay.
That actually is where I was thinking as well, because it leads through the workshop, and also it's the last real place we haven't.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So you want to go this way?
Yep. Well, no. To the left. I thought. To the left, and then
you want to go this way?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head back. You pass through the haziness, and then you end up here, where there are juts, and it's. In Aygir's Artificer verbiage, you would think of this as sort of a control room. And there is clearly a hexagonal shaped groove or inset into the wall that is matched up or attuned to a fire element.
Well,
at the moment, it looks to be in the on position.
Well, it looks like we found part of the puzzle.
Yes,
I poke it.
You poke the stony groove and you feel stone.
Yeah.
I'll look to Aygir and say, well, Aygir, seems to be more about you. Do you think you can turn off the geysers from here?
I don't think I can do anything from here. I think this does something, and I don't know what, but I'm about to find out if you'd let me.
Yeah, Elluin's letting you. He's not doing anything.
Well, then step aside. And he shoves his way past slightly rudely, or way more than slightly rudely, entirely unnecessarily rudely, in fact. Something someone with very low charisma would do. So there's a fire side and an acid side. Like the two
on
phases.
the tile, yes. So you would know that all you are to do, if you so desire, is put the face of the fire rune into the slot, and it's currently active, and this would deactivate the fire element.
Okay, so
and then you could take out the hex tile and put it back in, and you would activate the fire element. It's just it's an on-off switch.
All right. So okay, yeah. Fire rune in. He'll place the hex tile into the slot.
Okay. So you put that in. There is a very subtle noise, like the sound of maybe a pressure or a hum releasing. It is something of a control or engine type chamber you're in here. It's barely even a chamber. It's just an alcove, or maybe even like a what's the word I'm looking for? Just a little panel, right? From a giant's perspective. It seems like this would power forges or some kind of fire element that they'd be using in their workshop, but you've turned it off. So for whatever effect that might be, it's now in an off position.
But the geyser noise still remains.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I would say that's presumably the acid part of it. So this turns something else on or off.
Yes.
All right, and then there are no noticeable effects right where we are right now.
That's true. Other than that very subtle sound, like a pressure or a hum releasing,
Okay.
no effects.
Well, I am sure that did something somewhere, but it is not here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go learn what I can from what's in there. And he starts to turn and walk in the direction of the workshop.
Okay. Aygir enters the workshop, and
Okay,
around you are
Don't die.
the furnishings and engineering and alchemical and artificery effects of fire giant craftsmanship of old. And a lot of it does seem to be old. Obviously, it hasn't been maintained or kept up in almost 150 years. So there are things that look defunct, rusted, but other parts of it look like it might still function. You can see where they worked on alchemical items, where they worked on forging, metal works. Another one seems to be a quite experimental area, and a fourth chamber still has an arcane, or maybe I'm not going to say a sorceress almost feel to it.
Interesting. So what objects in here might stand out as the most obviously valuable, useful?
Yeah. Give me an investigation check.
All right. I'm actually going to burn my leftover goodwill from Dreck Grimm inspiration on
Okay.
this. This seems like the place where he should find something cool.
I cannot disagree with you.
Hopefully that's not bad. Well, that's a 19 on the better of the two dice. For investigation, it's going to turn out to be a 22.
Marvelous. Okay, so there's a few things I can tell you that would be of interest to you. One is there are alchemical components that you can claim from this place. There is, over here on the alchemical side, there's a compartment that you get opened up, and you find some bits of alchemical components that still have, their properties will still be functional. Salts and distilled ethers and, bits of magical plants and creatures. As well, this root over here that's overgrown and bursted out, there's some bits of that you can harvest as well. So give me a total roll of 2d10 times 10.
2d10 times 10. Okay.
Yeah.
2d10 times 10. So that's going to be a 16 times 10, 160.
Okay, so you have a total of 160 gold piece value worth of alchemical reagents. And they are an assortment of things, so we could apply them to many different things that require magical components to use. That was the first of the things. There's a couple other things I can note. Oh, yes, here's one of great interest to you. Through your investigating, you determine that there is indeed two functions to the fire element. One is that it runs the forges and burners and such, and just overall powers the workshop. Two is that it also comprises a ward, a rather potent ward, in the manifestation of a firewall that rings this. That would have activated if you were to have just walked in here. So it would have burnt you quite mightily, as well as radiating heat outwards into the.
You're
Wait,
welcome.
I'm curious. Yeah, I was about to say. So are you telling me that if Elluin hadn't have stopped Aygir a bit ago, he would have gotten burned?
Basically, yeah.
That's fitting. It's fitting.
Okay.
It's funny because Elluin probably won't know this, but Aygir is just probably thinking like,
I mean, this makes perfect sense for Fire Giant because he's not going to be affected even if the ward goes off.
Right.
But let's say a troll comes in here or some monster.
or a
Makes sense.
Hobgoblin, artificer that happened to walk in.
So
No,
I'm gonna
but that
throw-
begs the question, though. Wouldn't the creatures
Why
have
did-
been burnt?
Yeah. Why didn't he? Oh, say that again.
Didn't the creatures get burned by the ward? Like, wouldn't they have been burned by
Well,
the
right.
firewall?
They haven't
Yeah.
been in here.
Yeah,
They
so it
haven't
does
been
beg
in
the
here.
question of, what about the creatures? Why didn't he just barricade himself in there, and the creatures would get incinerated and
He must
He-
have gone down before he
he
got
could live
here.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bit of mystery there, but okay. But that also brings me to the next point on the list here, is you also come across a number of ash piles. They're old piles of ashes, but a lot of something got burned in here. The next thing you come across is maybe this is a minor thing. We'll just call it like scrap metal. You find some bits of scrap metal that looks like they could be de-oxidized and spruced up, and they could be used for the forging of, whatever, any kind of metal crafted thing.
A particular kind of metal?
Steels and ores, good quality. And did I say ores? Steels and alloys of fine qualities.
Yeah, Aygir has a project in mind he's been thinking of for a while now. He'll definitely shove those into his bags as soon as he sees them.
So there's a lot of it. You could really weigh yourself down if you got carried away with stuff in your
Okay.
bag. So if you want, you can just kind of put some in there, and maybe you'll come back later with like a Nykus or some other beast of burden.
True.
Or you could just kind of come in here from time to time and pull out bits if you feel okay with that.
If it seems like he could get enough to make himself a suit of armor right now, he would do that. But if that's just like unreasonable,
I think that's a good way to estimate it. You pull you take enough that would suffice for a suit of armor. There is yet another thing still in this experimental chamber, and you get one of the compartments opened up, and there you see a bunch of shattered glass, and it looks like someone pilfered or went through or ransacked or hastily searched through this, and there's just a mess of shattered glass and toppled over vials. But you do find two that still are like stoppered, and they have the fluid inside. One is a file, a good-sized file of a purple glass, and the other is a dark green glass.
Dimico, where are you? Come over here. Dimico.
I feel like we would come over. Yeah.
Does everyone come or just Dimico?
Dimico goes over.
Yeah, Elluin will come over too.
Yeah, I guess Vapor will head over.
Look at these, Dimico. I don't know myself what Troll's blood or Wonderberries look like. Do they look like any of these? Could they be
Well,
what's in
I've
here?
never seen a troll.
I
horse blood.
am going to give Dimico something here, just because you are a druid. You've heard of the concept or the idea or the theory, whatever you want to call it, the legend maybe even, of Wonderberry. So the idea is that there's this druidic spell called Goodberry.
Isn't Dimico a monk?
There was this giant endeavor
I am a monk,
to make
not a druid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not a druid, but that's okay. Keep going.
Are you not a, oh my god.
He's a monk.
He's a monk.
Why was I thinking you're a druid? Okay.
Because I play like I am a druid. I role play like I'm a druid.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It still applies to you because it's related to the Firbolgs and the Tangle. So we'll say you heard it from a Firbolg druid. My apologies for the
Sure.
brain fart there. So we'll say
I role play like a druid, so
yeah,
it's fine.
and Kindela himself probably is the one who told you about this, and he is druidic. So the idea is that it takes the concept of the good berry, but it through experimentation or alchemical processes or just a greater force of magic distills it and enhances the effect. So the idea is that the elixir is like a permanent good berry. It just satisfies your need for food and water indefinitely. No one has ever seen.
It's just like
actual,
I guessed.
Yeah. No one's ever seen an actual Wonderberry elixir before, so it's kind of like a myth. And according to the horrific fire giant that you just spoken with, that they had been pursuing it and had not perfected it.
It seems like they got a pretty good ways, though.
Yeah, it seems like they got very close.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want to know? Aygir?
Are these the things that he inclines his head in the direction of where that fire giant was, that he was talking about?
I look at them and I sniff them, and then I like look on the sides. Are there any words or any labels, Esper?
There are no words. You want to give it a whiff?
I'll give it a whiff. Yeah, maybe I can tell if it's a good berry by smelling it. Yeah. Or
you
wonderberry.
Unstopper the phial, and within is a dark purplish liquid, and you get a whiff of a potent berry aroma. You believe you are holding in hand here an
this seems like
specimen of Wonderberry elixir.
Yeah, this is probably Wonderberry, which is. What was that?
The other one is Roach blood. Yes?
Probably. I don't know. It could be.
Aygir, you want to take a whiff of yours?
Whiff that?
Aygir?
Oh, I thought you said Dimico.
You want to take a smell of the other one?
Gingerly touch it in the fear it might be trapped like the other things in this room, and gently lift it about an inch.
It's not trapped,
Okay.
and if you are so inclined to unstopper it, inside is a very thick fluid that smells much like iron. Quite sanguine.
Well, it makes you wonder. Whoever ransacked this place, how did they not find these? Or why did they leave them?
I don't think it's been ransacked. No one's been down here, right?
Everything was smashed.
Yeah, ransacked wasn't quite the right
Yeah.
term. It looks like someone went through this in a hurry.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I think a better thing would be like, imagine if someone had a laboratory and they just started smashing things. Maybe things got broken in a haste. And if you go through it, maybe you find a couple vials. But most people aren't going to take the time to sweep it. Yeah.
So why did they leave these ones behind?
Probably because they didn't find them. That's my guess. But I don't know.
You're right, you don't know. It's just all speculation. Well,
So we should get back to trying to find the way to the other place with the people.
yes, I suppose we should.
Yes.
Okay, so really the only way that you have not you haven't looked is
that bottom left area.
Yeah, down here. You wanna go
Which,
there?
so we know that there's eggs at least in one part of the corridor.
Right.
Do we know by distance and placement that the stairs connect kind of to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did the acid stop spitting when you turned it off? Because
The acid
that's
continues.
probably the safer.
Well,
yeah, it's
so
probably
I
the
don't
safer way.
actually no, I don't think it did because I turned the fire room
acid has not
did
been
the
affected.
fire stuff, which it activated or deactivated the fire ward and it activated the furnace and the machinery in the lab, but it didn't stop the geyser sounds. So I don't think it did anything to the acid.
Okay. So
All right,
acid
we'll
is
just go. We'll just go
endless
the
acid.
we'll just go the other way around.
Yeah, and we'll go the way that doesn't go through the workshop once everybody's out of the workshop, because then Aygir's going to take the hexatile out
Yeah.
and rearm
Yeah.
the trap. But
I was going to suggest that unless it reactivated the acid. And I thought that, I don't know.
right.
Yeah.
No, it didn't deactivate the acid. So
And yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So we're
Rearm
just
the
gonna-
trap so it doesn't get.
Yeah,
messed with.
we'll rearm the trap and then head over to the place we haven't looked
Okay.
at yet.
Yeah, you do that, and
I mean, for all we know, we might come
have
back
to
here.
leave the tile in there. You just you insert it and then you pull it back out, and that's
okay,
that's switching it.
I see.
You've set the trap and
Well, then yeah,
activation mode.
he'll put it back in and take it back out again because it does make
We
sense.
might
to rearm.
Yeah, we might
might
need that key. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So we know that we're coming up on eggs. So
Yeah,
what are we gonna do? Also, the creature was this way, so I would like to make active perception checks to see
Yeah,
if it's hiding around
Yeah,
corners.
I'll do an active as well. I got a 5.
Oh, God, my die. Why? This symbol is terrible. 20.
A lot of not great rolls here. Aygir has a 9.
Did you catch my roll?
Nope.
22 perception.
Woo, that's pretty good. Well, you don't hear the sound of the creature. It's gone off somewhere.
Well, yeah, I'm basically, so long as it's not lurking for us, that's what I'm actively perceiving for.
You don't believe
So,
it.
yeah. Well, it could have beaten my roll.
That,
or it
that
could
is
be,
always a
you know.
possibility.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, if
So,
we know that,
yeah,
if we know that the eggs are down here, did we ever figure out the actual range of their spit?
yeah,
I
it's
believe
like
you did.
30
Yeah.
feet.
It was like 30 feet, right?
It was within 30 feet.
Yeah. So if we're at that top area, we should be safe from it.
No, that's easily 30 feet from
Is
it.
that 30 feet? I can't tell.
Esper, you want to show him?
Yeah. Is it 30
You,
feet?
you want to test it out, Elluin?
No, I don't want to test it. No, if
Okay.
I don't know, I'm not going to do anything.
Dimico's the wise one, the perceptive one, so maybe listen to him.
Yeah, I won't go in if he thinks it's the.
Just so I don't forget, you all have achieved another milestone by this point.
Woot woot.
Thank you.
All right, Vapor. Are you ready?
I think.
If we have to go back down here, the elf's going first.
Well, those eggs. I figured you could try out something you may have learned recently.
Oh no, yes, I'll definitely try it
Agreed.
out.
Why do
The
you
elf's
hate
going
Elluin
first.
so much?
We don't hate you, Elluin. You're just a bit more impetuous than us.
I have a
I figure you're a
thought.
good target of anyone.
Here's the.
Yes.
Esper,
Yes.
when they spit their acid, were they constantly spitting acid, or was it like a one shot and then maybe it
One
needs to kind
shot.
of recharge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
What if I just?
It was like
Mhm.
that was their action, was to do that, and
Yeah.
it's a poison spray.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I'm going to suggest you guys wait and be ready. I can dodge and run in front of it and see if it'll, shoot its load spray at me, and I'll dodge it, and then I'll run back, and you jump out and zap it.
All right.
I'm probably the best dexterous one of us.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why everyone wants Elluin to go. He only has a +1 dex, guys. Like, he's not good for this.
That's fine.
I mean, I only have a +1 dex as well, but I have training in it. I'm
okay.
proficient.
Yeah.
One of you is a big target, the other one is an armored target. Either way, you are good candidates to go forward into that.
I basically, here's what I'm going to do, Esper. If they're ready, if they get up to the corner and they're ready to jump out and zap, I will be ready. I'm going to dodge, and basically I'm going to run out and kind of do like a dive. So it's like an action dive, to try and avoid being hit.
Okay.
And then I'll run back into cover after the dive,
Assuming Dimico asks them if they're ready, Aygir looks at Vapor and says, "Far wall, near wall."
I don't know if it'll help, but I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, maybe if we both did it at the same time, it would, like, make it harder to hit both of us. Like, it might get confused.
No, it might be an area effect. You don't know. I mean, if it's poison spray, I thought it was. Maybe poison spray is just one target, though.
All right, you ready to go for this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think I understand everything, but just stop me if I get something wrong. So first, Dimico heads this way.
We'll all be we're basically up at the corner, 3 in a row, and then I would do something like that, and then back into cover after it triggers its shoot at me. Basically, I'm drawing the fire so that they can step out and shoot it without getting shot.
All right.
Because it only has one reaction. Just like most people can only do one thing at a time.
Yeah. All right. So Dimico darts out, and indeed there is a spray of the poison.
Yeah. And I'm
virulent, noxious.
Actively like dodging it. Yeah.
Make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Yep. All right. So currently I'm sitting at a 17, unless I roll higher. I'm at a 17.
Okay, you easily dodge the liquid. Meanwhile, your allies pop out for a ranged barrage.
Go for it, guys.
Let's start with Vapor. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay, a second. So that I think is a 19.
Yep, the thing's very easy to hit, so you definitely strike.
And Stormbolt's a D8.
Yep.
Oh, that's a solid 8.
Right. You blast the egg with lightning, and then you pop back behind the cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not going to stay out.
Okay. And then let's do...
it doesn't make sense to stay out.
Elluin? All right, I'll use my, crossbow. Nope. Natural one.
And Aygir.
All right, so at the one on the near wall, he's going to shoot a Stormbolt as well to hit them.
Technically, remember, guys, we don't know the other one's there. That was a mistake on Esper's part because we never got there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
just don't metagame that. Yep.
Maybe a waste, but that's actually a crit.
Woohoo!
Might not be a waste.
Well,
2d8.
yeah. All right. So that's good. Oh, nice. 7 and 7. That's 14.
Very nice.
That destroys the egg, the shell of the thing, and out comes
one of those things. Yeah.
a spawn, a young, pale, not fully developed one.
It's just a baby. It's a baby face hugger.
Best I could do without hearing that sickening pop noise ever. Ogong Dung. There's one of them.
All right, got it. Let's go to the next round. Dimico?
Now that the egg was destroyed, because I assume you communicate that, yes?
Yeah, he he said what he said, which is that he could do without hearing the pop ever again. And Agong Dung, there's one of them.
I guess Dimico's going to move to attack it, and yes, out of game, I know I'm going to get sprayed by the other one, but there would be no way for me to know that in game, Esper.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be the logical choice I would make to go to attack it, and then I would get surprised.
Let's give Warsor a hand for the anti-metagaming. Good form, man. Good form.
Everyone in the comments is just like,
So-
why are you doing this? You know it's there. What are you doing?
Dimico, to your surprise, there is another one in this corner here, and spray of noxious,
Here comes
stinking poison.
only a 12 on my dex save.
I think that gets it. Yep, you're good. You avoid it.
Nice.
And then I drive my spear into this little guy, and I shout to the others, "There's another one in the corner, around the corner," to let you all know.
In the corner, around the corner. How does that even work?
Attack in the corner, around the corner.
Round on up in
Oh my
there.
god, this table is terrible to roll dice on.
Yeah, go ahead. Blame the table, not the person rolling the dice. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So the first attack's gonna miss because it's only a 6, but I do have martial arts with my bonus.
Yep.
So bonus, I'm kicking it.
Yep.
That's a 19 on the die, so a 23.
Yes, most certainly.
23, and I believe my martial arts die is a D4 for
Yeah.
that. All right. That's only a 6, but still pretty good.
Well, a 6 is still a noteworthy hit against this small spawn thing here. It didn't like that so much. Vapor.
I'm done.
Okay. Vapor is going to pop around the corner and take a shot at the creature.
With your spell, yes.
Yes.
So you don't want to run up and shocking grasp?
I doubt a 9 is going to hit.
Probably not.
No.
It is a miss. Probably what happens is you were being careful not to electrify your friend there, and you were overly conservative and just end up hitting the wall. Do you go jump back behind the cover?
No, he's going to stay where he's at.
Stay there? Okay. And Elluin.
I'll move up around that corner and I'll shoot at the egg since Dimico told us about it.
And it's already used its shot for the round.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Do you want to end up right next to the creature? You could probably end up a little bit away from it.
I'll move back.
I mean, it could provoke, so maybe
I
I
think that's fine. Yeah, I think that was fine where I was at, Esper. I'll be there.
You want to be here?
Back where you.
And this way, if the creature, runs away.
So I want to be in a position where if it tries to run away, I can get an opportunity attack on it as well. If that makes sense.
Okay, so you get into melee with the thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and you are shooting a crossbow,
just like where you did.
Yeah, I'll shoot the crossbow.
Okay, you have disadvantage on your ranged attack due to the threat of this thing snapping here.
Oh wait, I would get disadvantage on that?
Yep.
I thought that was only when you're shooting at someone that you're melee with. Let me see.
You get disadvantage on an attack if I'm shooting someone else?
I'll double check the rule. I'm pretty sure it's
aiming
disadvantage
a
on
ranged
ranged
weapon
attack.
is more difficult when a foe's next to you. When you make a ranged attack with a weapon, spell, or some other means, you have disadvantage on the attack if you're within 5 feet of a hostile creature who can see you and isn't incapacitated. Esper is correct.
I did not know that, but I will take the disadvantage. And I probably
I just thought it worked differently.
Oh, well, actually, I think I might hit. It's because I'm proficient in this, so 12. Maybe
It's an egg. It's not
The
dodging.
egg is very easy to hit.
12 hits.
Oh yeah.
All right, and I think isn't a light crossbow is a D6, right? I haven't used a
D8.
light crossbow. Oh, it's a D8. Oh,
D8.
D8 plus
Okay.
2 dex.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Heavy crossbows D10. Yeah.
I got 4 damage.
All right.
Did you add your dex?
Yeah. I rolled a 3, so I don't have
shoot a
plus 1 dex.
crossbow bolt successfully at the egg, and Aygir from the back does what?
All right, so he runs forward a little bit, trying to get to a position where he can shoot and also see where the new one is that Dimico mentioned. Yeah, probably about there.
Yep.
If he's able to see that one, sorry, while moving, he will have drawn a little knife from his cartographer's toolkit for trimming quills, and he'll flip it up into the air, and as it spins in the moment before he catches it, it'll shoot forth the lightning of the storm bolt from that at the other egg.
All right, go
Are
for
you
it.
sure you're not a bard?
No, an artificer with some ranks in sleight of
I mean,
hand.
it just seems like you're performing with every spell.
You're so much more a bard than an artificer. Why do you think Vapor called you a magician at child's parties?
It's
All
okay.
right.
It's okay.
To try and hit that.
He's a steampunk bard.
All right. Does a 14 do it? That sounds like. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they had a natural tough armor.
Well, I got it with a 13,
No.
so
It does
Yeah,
have,
he hit
it
it
does
with a
have kind of a
12, yeah,
leathery
not that,
natural armor, but the dexterity is so terrible that it ends up with a bad armor
Oh, the
class.
7s keep coming for me on those d8s, so that's another 7 damage to that egg.
Right.
Nice.
Potent. The vicious little thing there gnarls and snaps, and it's just gonna, savagely, instinctually bite at the half giant right there in front of it. And it totally misses. You swat it aside with a martial arts maneuver, and its first bite since exiting the egg is rather clumsy and ineffective.
I call this maneuver the slap down. Slap.
The egg sprays. Elluin, make a dexterity saving throw.
Do I want to use my inspiration for this? I'll use my inspiration. I might be able to get a higher roll just in case. I don't get to save that inspiration, so better to use it now than lose it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's much better. That's a 17.
You easily evade, and Dimico, you are engaged along with your ally. With this
I thought you were about to say that because I dodged it, Dimico is gonna take it. I was gonna be like, oh no.
Go for it, Dimico.
What's happening? I'm sorry.
Go for it, Dimico.
Okay. I'm attacking the thing again.
Very well.
Does a 21 hit, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Yep, easily hits.
All right. Okay. The mighty 6 damage as I stab it with a spear. And then I'm going to kick it with my martial arts bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to mess with a 7 to hit.
All right. And Vapor?
Vapor will take another shot at that little creature because it seems like everybody else got the egg.
Do you want to reposition for a better shot?
Yeah, he'll move up to that corner there.
I would, because where you're at now, I'd probably give it 3/4
That
cover.
seems...
There, I'd just give it half cover.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he'll move there.
So it's got a minor bonus. Yeah, go ahead and shoot. Unless you're a spell sniper, in which case it doesn't benefit from the cover.
Again, I don't think 11's going to work.
11 is not enough. It evades the storm bolt, and Elluin.
I have a quick question. I don't remember exactly all the action stuff over there. Is it a so dropping a weapon is a free action, right?
Yeah, no action.
And then if I wanted to draw my longsword, would that be a bonus action or
you can do one like fast object manipulation per round per turn, right? So
No,
you could
so
draw
you-
weapons.
how it works.
Yeah, it would basically be as part of your action of attacking. You could draw it.
Okay, so I could drop my crossbow, run up
Yeah.
to the egg, and then
Yeah,
slice it with my
you can do
longsword.
one. So if you're only drawing the sword, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, I'd have to drop the light crossbow as well. I'll just shoot it
Keep
with
the
my
sword in one hand. You can just hold the.
Oh, is that a thing that I
crossbow.
can do? Oh,
You can
okay.
just hold. It's like grab
Okay.
it by the scarf or something.
Okay, I guess I'll just have my longsword in one hand, and then I'll shoot it with I'll shoot it with my crossbow first, I guess, and then we'll do that because I actually don't want to move now that I think about it, because I don't want to get attacked by the thing with opportunity attack. It's a natural 20 with my light crossbow. Yes.
You have disadvantage.
Oh, do I really?
Sorry.
Oh, I didn't get disadvantage last time.
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Because you're in melee with this creature.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, that sucks. Nope, I probably.
Sorry.
I got
Sorry,
a
level.
11. 12. 12 again.
Yeah,
Another 12. Yeah, I rolled the same roll. It's only 5 damage.
5 to the egg. The egg looks in bad condition now. And then you draw a longsword. Is that?
Yeah,
is
I'll
that
draw
right?
my longsword.
Okay,
Yeah, so that if
that's
this
fine.
thing tries to run, I can get a longsword attack on it.
Very well. And Aygir.
He will put a jeweler's loop up to his eye from his tinker tools and just look at it and shoot that storm bolt seemingly from his eye. Because again, cantrips, basically any of his various tools are sufficient for those.
Very
but
nice.
Aygir, are you sure you don't work at children's parties as a magician?
That's a 12 to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
On the egg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This egg has to be dead now, right?
Probably.
That'll do 2 damage.
That's exactly what you needed.
Quiet, you. You're distracting me.
The egg is zapped. It splits. It kind of loses its integrity, and there it is. And the creature inside of it is just so underformed that it can't really. It's dead as well.
See, if you weren't so busy talking about children's parties, which you clearly know a bit more about than I do, I would have blown that up spectacularly.
And the nasty little thing here bites at the half giant. Oh, probably not going to do it. You tell me 12 to hit? Probably not.
No, not going to hit me.
And then how do you respond to that, Dimico?
Stabby, stabby, stab.
By stabbing it with a spear. Unfortunately, that bounced, so it's a miss. And a kick the face. Does a 14 hit?
14. You glance upon its natural armor and just barely do not hit. And Vapor.
Okay, and then I'm done.
Vapor will move to where that thing doesn't have any cover whatsoever.
Something like that.
Oh, can I do one last thing? Is it okay if I take a movement action?
Yep.
I'd like to move around behind it so it can't run, and also we can flank it on the next turn.
Good
So
idea.
just put me on the opposite side. Yep. I'm done.
All right, so Dimico circles around it, menacing with his spear. You've got the thing flanked. Vapor steps into a better position for a clear shot.
And that was a worse roll of a 10.
The thing evades it. A somewhat nimble creature here.
Aygir, your spell doesn't seem to be working at all.
Elluin.
Oh
Sword in
boy.
hand.
I will take the free action to drop the crossbow, and then I'll hold my longsword in 2 hands, so I get a bit more damage, and I will and now I get advantage on this one, right? Because it's flanked.
Plus
Which
2
is it's a +2. I almost rolled 2 dice. Yeah, I keep forgetting. +2. Hey, that should hit. That's like it's 19 without adding my stuff.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. So this is a D10 this time because it's a 2-handed longsword.
Yep.
And I keep rolling really low, but this one's going to be 7 damage at least because of my strength. So
Okay, you give the thing a pretty sizable cut, and it lets out a squeal of pain. Aygir.
All right. So it's still
bleeding.
Badly, but it's still kicking.
It looks pretty hurt.
All right, he's gonna actually take a step closer, and with a little less flair, a little less flair, and a small hammer from his smith's tools in his hand, he's going to point it and shoot the storm bolt as something to put it out of its misery, provided it hits, which might not be a given, given that's it's a 13. Does a 13 hit?
It evades.
Okay.
And the creature, wounded, confused, probably terrified, its first moments in existence, it does a furious dash.
it's about to get opportunity attacked by 3 different people.
Your opportunity attacks are at disadvantage as though it is using dodge.
Now, would I get advantage because I'm flanking?
You get +2 to hit, but you have disadvantage.
So I still roll 2 dice, take the lowest, and add 2?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, are we doing it? So we are.
Yeah, all 3 of you
Okay,
can.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's just checking. So Dimico, you'll also get your +2 as well. I rolled 2 17s. So that's like it's like 19, 21, 20. It's like 24.
I got a 20.
Yeah, I got a 24 as well.
You stab and slash the thing the moment it tries to slip away from you, and it falls to the ground,
Wait, but
defeated and collapsed.
I rolled 4 damage.
And sadly does not go running into the acid chamber to get dissolved.
Oh, that's right. It would have like ran away and like goes into the acid chamber.
I mean, there's no way the baby would know what's in there. So
Yeah. Are we bad people?
You all have
We
achieved
just-
another milestone.
Are we bad people? We just like this thing.
Unless they carry a genetic.
Esper, do I get half a milestone
memory.
for the anti-magic metagame?
I say that's
I think
worth
we
it.
Anti-magic metagame?
No,
What anti-magic?
I'm just messing with you. I was
For walking
or
into the
anti-metagame.
poison spray. Okay. You know what, man? In my heart, you get a whole milestone for that. In my heart, in my dungeon
Oh,
master.
he said
like,
it.
we'll keep that in your heart. So what's gonna happen, Esper? You're not that far from me. I'll drive over there and cut your. I mean, no, I don't need that milestone.
It's in there. Give it to me, damn it.
You're like, no, it was metaphor. It was a metaphor.
Okay, so you all are heading southbound. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You.
it does seem to be the last unexplored area of the map.
Yep.
It does
The other
seem to
entrance
be.
into the acid room.
So, you know what's over here. You can hear the sound, and you know the bubbling
Okay.
acid orb is there. This direction, there are some more chambers of the old days of yore, of the giants. Here you see another control type chamber, including an acid attuned slot.
Igor, you think this controls the geyser?
I don't know, Vapor. Who is Igor?
Igor.
Again,
Aygir.
I've only known you for how long?
Ah,
Typical. Well, there's only one way to find out.
Aygir, you were putting the hexatile with the acid rune into the indention.
Acid rune, and point it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. The orb of, see, I can hand gesture this. The orb of rolling, bubbling, arcane acid is something like a fountain being turned off and reduces down into nothing. And Dimico, with you did a good perception check, and I'll kind of let that roll. You hear some sounds from back this way. They're not coming closer, but you think that creature or another one of those creatures or something. There's something there.
Guys, I think we have company. The creature's just down the hall. I can hear something. And it sounds like the creature.
By company, do you mean free XP?
I would like to move to the corner. I move to the corner and I look around towards it. Not that corner.
Dimico goes to the corner of the wall, like looks around, it's like, guys, I don't see anything. I just see stone.
Okay, so you're not seeing anything, but you've heard it from back in here.
Yeah.
You've heard some sounds of
Okay.
movement, and
I
some of
think
it's
I think it's
vocalizations.
What did you say, Dimico?
Guys, it's making noises. It's making noises.
Well, I don't. If it's not bothering us, perhaps we should just leave it be. They seem more afraid of us than we of them.
Well, that
Until we
might
get
be the
hungry
way.
enough.
The only way that we get to your
There's another
where we're
thing
going.
that you hear, Dimico, when you get out to there. Dimico of the keen ear. Now that all the gushing, geysering sounds have stopped, you hear a very faint echo of far off voices and somebody's singing. People.
Is it coming from back where the geyser was?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the layer, and the geyser was blocking our way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think.
Hey guys, I
cool.
hear singing. There's some people back that way. Let's leave the creature in here. Maybe there's purpose that we can come back later and deal with.
Agreed. Let's approach these voices cautiously, though. We don't know if they're friend or foe yet.
They're probably the people that we're here to find.
Yeah, I know. But like, we don't know, right? So
A massive chamber opens up as you step in here, made even larger from the fact that walls, floors, and ceiling have eroded away from the arcane acid effect. And you're quite certain that it is deactivated and it has not erupted ever since Aygir used the hexatile. And from one of these worn away
We'll get into the
crevices in
center.
ground,
From
one
one
of
of the
these
what?
eroded and worn down crevices sinking into the ground, you hear the echo of far off voices, distant, indistinct chatter and singing.
I think there might be a tunnel under there.
yes, let's go and look into it. We may be able to go down further deeper into this cavern.
Aygir whispers over to Vapor, "Damn, I was hoping the elf would say underwear." And then continues to walk over and peer over the edge to see what's under there.
Okay. You walk all the way over here, and the ground has been severely eroded away from years of exposure to the arcane acid. So maybe we would call this a access point to some kind of natural crawlway. And voices echo from somewhere farther down. They sound quite animated. You hear drumming and chanting and singing and an instrument, some kind of droning, like a drone harp or a hurdy-gurdy or something. And you hear a couple girls giggle.
We don't see anything though.
Far off echoes of these voices.
Dimico would like to climb down. Is it difficult to climb? How far is it?
Since you're not really pressed or any, rush or stress, you can take your time
Danger.
and get down there.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you have ropes and such. So you get down there, and you could continue along again on hands and knees, crawling in what looks like access to a cave or cavern type terrain.
Yeah, I think that we should keep moving forward. Yeah, see what's going on.
Yeah.
You crawl.
I
through
do
this.
have one question though.
Mhm.
What if that creature follows us and then finds another way out?
It's pretty scared of us. It didn't come when we were killing its babies. I'm pretty sure it just wants to survive.
Yes, I think
Very well.
it's definitely more afraid of us than it just seems like a scared animal.
I'm just asking.
I mean, that it didn't come out. We cornered it, and it was basically getting ready to fight us if we came in, but it doesn't want anything to do with us. It constantly moved away from us.
Yeah, it was
just
full on
making
flight
sure.
in fight or flight mode.
But just your raise a good point, Vapor. You go last in the order of our marching.
Just so that way it can attack me.
I mean, it would be the safest place, if not for the point you just brought up.
Very well, I will ring up the rear.
Okay.
You're welcome to stay in the front. Elluin doesn't say that. Elluin doesn't say that. Just like
Oh, you better not have, because you would have gone from a massive shit.
So you all get down on hands and knees and make your way through this cramped crawlway that really is just cavernous, is all it is. And the sounds of the voices get louder and louder as you go. And eventually the crawlway does open up, become a bit more spacious. You can't stand up, but you can sit, you could be on your haunches, and you come to a natural stony ledge. You're on top of a stony ledge, completely natural. So it's all like asymmetrical and at irregular shapes and bulges and angles. And you're on this stony cave ledge overlooking a natural cavern below you where these voices are coming from. And there are people down there, and they've got lamps with the glowing algae. This is a common type of lamp in Barnacle. They've got the space illuminated with lamps, and you smell the smells of different smoking vapors like cloud and zagape and maybe even a bit of grove sheen. And they're having a good time, and they're singing. You see, just at a first glance, it just looks like a group of goons, urchins, and whores. And there's some characters that I'll describe in particular here. There is an elf, a young male elf, and there is there's actually two. There are two young male elves. There is a young male human. There is a male bugbear who is wearing some blue clothing. And there is a male dwarf, sort of a middle-aged male dwarf. The dwarf and the bugbear are playing drum-type instruments, and they are all merrymaking. And one of the elves, he is singing, if you can call it singing. I'm the flame igniter, contorted flame igniter. I'm the flame igniter, contorted flame igniter.
And he's got his hair all spiked up.
I'm the witch you hated, hanged and burninated. I'm the maid degraded, the devil you created. I'm the flame igniter, awoken flame igniter. All together. I'm the flame igniter, spoken flame igniter. hi, and it's a very animated sort of song and very, very, very cocky, and they're all.
Dimico starts clapping along. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and
But
they're
I do
all
wanna
just
give
having
you
a party.
applause.
Aygir mutters to himself, "Well, that's quite a prodigious performance."
Yeah, maybe we should go
elf out
down.
of character, did he have like his hair spiked up but shaved down the middle like a reverse mohawk?
No, actually, the one who was singing has very, very long hair, and he's a tall, slender elf.
Huh. I look at the party to see what they want to
The
do.
5 NPCs that I noted seem to match the description of the Crossroaders. You believe you have found the outlaw gang and other friends or merrymakers along with them.
Elluin will look, sort of like mutter and say,
Everyone,
well, they're quite different than what I was expecting.
Yes, seeing them now, I don't believe any of them would be a serial killer.
No, it doesn't seem that way.
The one who was singing, the long-haired, skinny one, you peg as Lami Longstock. And he is quite a boastful one, let me tell you. And he finishes the song and takes a long draw off of a bubbler and like exhales the steam. And, he swaggers and boasts and, grabs the bosom of one of the girls who squeals and giggles with delight and takes a puff of her own. And they just, I'm not going to role play it because it's a lot, but it's just a bunch of voices.
Yeah.
They're just having a mess. They're just making a mess, having a party basically.
Well, he definitely seems to boast a lot, but from what I can tell off the surface, it doesn't seem.
why are they outlaws?
Yeah, that's the
Well,
weird thing.
because one of them's a bugbear, one of them's a dwarf, and a bunch of them are elves. So I imagine they're like, the dwarf is breaking societal laws by not being a slave. The bugbear is just out of place by being.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a litany of crimes.
That doesn't.
I think
that
there was a
doesn't
couple
make
humans or
sense.
something.
What?
From what you all know of the Crossroaders, is
Yeah,
they
that doesn't
are
make
they are
sense.
bandits from the Lattice. They
Yeah.
are escaped criminals and slaves and such,
Right.
urchins and bastards and renegades, lawbreakers, extortionists, robbers.
Yeah, out of character, I'm just trying to think of like how to approach this situation because like we can't just like go in there because we'll just. I mean, there's too many of them for us to take,
They don't seem to be in any position to fight, though. Assuming we don't.
But Elluin, we have the high ground.
The high ground always wins.
Put $1 in the swear jar.
That's true. Let's see. I'm just thinking.
There's probably only 5 real combatants.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple others, but
They also don't seem
honestly,
like they're
not weapons. Yeah, are they wearing armor, Esper, or are they in party?
Yeah, they just like
half naked.
Nobody is half naked.
Because if you catch people,
yeah, nobody's
Yes.
half naked.
yes. You just need to wait a little
not
while.
Yet. Yeah, not yet. If you want to peep on them for a while more. Nobody's half naked. There would be, maybe some light armor in there. The Crossroaders do have some weapons,
but they're definitely like not.
but they are, they're having a time of it.
I'll whisper. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll whisper back and say, we may be able to catch them by surprise. You two, Vapor, Aygir, you seem to have lots of range abilities. If I drop down there, with Dimico, they don't know that you two are up there, and we could catch them by surprise.
Aygir lays a hand on Elluin's shoulder. You think we are here to fight these people?
Well, from the
I know
information,
you are an elf, but have you completely taken leave of your senses?
well, from what we know, at least Lonnie Longstock
Why don't we wait and watch them?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to fight them. We could watch them. Maybe they'll talk and we can overhear. Or maybe they'll pass out when they have too much,
too much
and too much.
Aygir indicates
Dimico's correct.
Yeah, that may be
they have to sleep sometime. When they sleep, we could just go down quietly and cover one's mouth and drag them off and question them, and we don't have to kill them.
We could also talk to them.
But
Yes.
talking to them now, they have too many reasons to say no. I thought we can't risk them saying no.
Yes, I agree with Dimico's idea. That's probably the best bet. Just wait and quiet.
Let's just rest for a minute, and I don't think any of us took damage, but let's just sit up here and watch.
Yeah, so I guess we just wait, see what they do.
Which, out of character, could this perhaps include a short rest, or are we too close to potential danger for that to count?
Well, if we don't do anything, if we're just sitting there looking at them.
Right.
I thought we were laying, because we crawled. So
yeah, I feel like we're lying down on our stomachs looking over the ledge.
You could lie, you could sit, you could crouch, you could be on your haunches.
Yeah.
So long as we don't engage.
Yeah, so we'll just wait and see what they do.
Okay.
And what
you're
if
waiting? Lamy has a new, not even a new. He improvs a new song or a chant of his, and in it he claims to be a pyromancer called the Flame Igniter, and then in a different verse he refers to himself as the Night Stalker. Slitting people's throats, putting red smiles on anyone who crosses him.
I feel like this guy is all talk and like out of character. He's totally all talk and just he's not any of this.
Well,
you didn't realize that before we even came here. This was such a Hail Mary of he says he is, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, so here's the thing. So Aygir is going to listen intently to the bits about the Night Stalker, which is calling himself the Night Stalker, just to see if he actually lets slip a detail that's not common public knowledge that just anyone would know.
Yeah. Because he definitely might be lying, but he might still know something. Yeah.
If he is a Night Stalker, insight
or perception. It's maybe it sounds like you're doing more perception.
All right, make an insight check while we listen.
Yeah, it sounds like
because I haven't trained it.
Yeah, I've always do insight.
I'll do it. I'll do it as well.
I have a 25 insight. I rolled a 19 on the die.
I rolled a 20 on the die, but I only have a 23.
Insight's one of two skills that are my maximum.
I got a 14.
Dimico, you think he is boasting and joculating and just being a thug rat bastard type of guy. You don't think he is actually a pyromancer nor the Night Stalker. And Aygir, you are listening in. There's not many details that slip regarding Alami Longstock and his supposed being the Night Stalker. He says things that are fairly stock and a lot of puffing himself up. There is something else that you catch, though, of note. And it actually is the dwarf who is speaking with the human. And the dwarf and the human are concerned about some potential problems that might come up when they help Pock get free.
When they help Pock get free, they're talking about potential problems that might arise when they help get Pock free.
Yeah, the dwarf is talking a lot about Pock, and when we find Pock, and when I get him out of here finally, and they're discussing a plan, it seems.
Well, that explains why they're in town. So Aygir looks over to Dimico and says, so, when they've got themselves good and worked into a stupor, which one do we take?
Probably their leader. He'd know the most, right?
Yes,
Right.
I think taking Lamy would be the best bet.
So far, we
I mean,
only know that he is full of himself. The others are
yeah, but if
about
he's the leader, there's got to be a reason.
could just be that he talks the most.
Then he would know who the person is that we really need to take.
Well, they keep talking about this park. Those two over there.
Yeah, so you mentioned Esper, like they want to like free this. Would Elluin possibly know who Park is if it's someone like if it's actually someone that's a prisoner or
Make
someone...
a history check, Elluin. You might know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
correct.
proficient in the history. All right. Nope. 3.
Let me just roll my history check. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know.
Aygir is proficient in history, but I doubt he would know anything about a local here. He's not from.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 1, so it's like it's a 3 if that matters. It got +2.
I mean, Pak sounds like it could be a slave name. That's what most of the dwarf names are like, right? They just got like this 1 word or 2 word, like shaggy rat or muley or big guy and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think the best bet right now is to wait till they sleep, like Dimico said, and we'll take Lamy in the night.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Elluin. Are you not scared? He is a
So
legendary
while
pyromancer.
we're
Elluin will actually give a bit of a chuckle.
he's
and
not
say,
a legendary pyromancer. I could tell he was lying. You couldn't tell he was lying, Aygir?
Oh, he said it. It must be true, right?
No, that's not how it works. People lie.
I think Dimico just.
Was this before or after sarcasm came and jumped up and bit you on the nose?
No, my nose didn't get bit.
Oh, right, that's what I thought.
You're like Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Take care of yourself, Dimico. You're all right. Somehow.
Thank you. So one
plan is
last
to
thing
wait until
while we wait, Esper. Do we
they
see
settle.
ways in it?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, but do we see ways in and out of the cavern?
Not from where you're positioned, but you would assume.
Did you catch that? Okay.
Yeah, you don't see it from where you're positioned, but you assume there's some tunnel or some egress that gets out of here.
Okay, because we can't take him through our tunnel. It's too small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it would be 30 feet down from a steeply sloped rock face down to the cave that they're in.
Yeah, we'll climb down, capture him silently as we can. If we can't capture him silently, then we fight.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Exactly, yeah.
And then we go out the way that they come in and out.
Dimico, you're the one that made the successful 20-something insight check.
25 insight, yes.
You don't think it would be a good idea to fight the Crossroaders. It would be a very, very dangerous encounter.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if there's mitigating factors, that can change things. So I'm not saying it's impossible. But
if there was a mitigating factor, they couldn't attack us and we could just hit them as many times as we wanted.
Yeah, or you're talking about waiting for them to be asleep and creeping along. So maybe you can come up with something. But I'm just telling you from your insight check, apples to apples on a level playing field, they would have an upper hand.
Right,
which is why the plan is to jump the one guy that's sleeping. All of us jump him and knock him out and drag him away.
I'm not gonna lie though.
Quietly. Which hopefully are they all drinking and having a good time, Esper?
Mainly it's the dwarf that drinks. Beer is really associated with dwarves. The rest are smoking or fuming.
Right.
And there are some different things that people imbibe.
Yeah, a quick thing. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm a little concerned about the sneak because I think me and Aygir, we both get disadvantage on stealth.
True.
Yeah. So
but sleeping people have disadvantage on their perception.
True.
At least in my games, they do.
Yeah.
So it kind of cancel. I was thinking like maybe I could take the armor off, but like then if it does happen to have a fight, that'd be even worse. So, all right, we'll just stick with the plan. And if things go wrong, then things go wrong.
Obviously, we're not looking to fight because there are more of them. They would win a fight. We're looking to ambush them while they're asleep. In which case, we have by far the advantage because of that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I still have that smoke bomb if we do have to make a quick escape.
That's that'd be really good.
Yeah. So we'll be good. We'll be Gucci.
So you wait for a time, and you can keep listening to them. As you do, it becomes clear that Pak is the dwarf's son.
Ah, interesting.
So he seems to be wanting to free his son.
Gotcha.
Seemingly a noble goal, although I imagine Pak might be a murderer or scoundrel of some sort.
Yeah.
Or an escaped slave.
It's like, oh, he just wants to save his son. It's like he turns out to be like this crazy murderer. It's like, oh, maybe it's not so noble anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if he's an escaped slave, then I mean, Aygir is no fan of elven slavery. That would
neither is Elluin. So yeah, Elluin would be okay with saving a slave as well. So
eventually, they begin to settle down. A couple of their merrymakers, revelers leave, and so you can see there's some passage, some way to get out of here, going the opposite direction that you came from. So the crossroaders stay. A couple of the other revelers are still with them, and as any good party does, they rest in shifts.
The one thing we didn't really take into consideration.
Yeah, we forgot that NPCs also could have.
So okay, how the ship?
No. NPCs are not allowed to rest in shifts.
And they just say the same thing over and over again.
How many people?
And they live here forever until you come and activate the scene.
How many of them take a shift at a time?
One at a time. Though keep in mind, 2 of them are elves.
Oh, and elves in this setting do the trance thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So they age more normally, but they still don't sleep.
Correct.
Okay. So I guess the obvious thing to do is wait for Lamy to have his shift.
Exactly, yeah.
If he's the one we're trying to take.
I could do something, maybe. I could disguise myself as one of the camp followers.
Do you think you could pull that off, Dimico? And it seems like Elluin wants to he's about to say something like you're not very good with people, but then he sort of stops himself because he doesn't want to be rude.
None of them were half giants; they were elves.
Yeah.
And Dimico, he's been watching for a while, and he concentrates, and he's going to turn into the woman from earlier.
Oh, that was
you're actually using
thing.
Just like a
disguise self.
Oh wow! Okay, fantastic.
People are less likely to question a woman. It just there's certain things that they're more willing to go out of their way to avoid confrontation. Yeah.
Okay.
Aygir reaches out and taps Dimico on the shoulder and says, "I believe in you. You can do this."
And you reach out, and what's actually funny is your hand stops before reaching his shoulder, and you feel his furry shoulder because it's just an illusion. You feel like a furry shoulder in the air where his shoulder would be, but the woman is smaller.
Yeah,
well, he pats you and transfers some sort of tingling energy as he catches
guidance.
Casts guidance. Yeah.
That's good.
Might come up. That might be helpful.
And then as you're doing that too, Elluin will say, "Dimico, be careful and don't talk like you usually do. Not to be rude."
How should I? Oh, okay. I'll talk like this then, or I just won't talk at all.
I nod my head and I
He
pat
does his
you.
best impression of like a female voice.
Yeah, I nod my head and pat you and say, "You'll do good, Dimico. You'll do good."
So, Dimico, you
You try to pat his head, but you like pat
Yeah,
his chest
exactly.
instead.
Dimico, you wait until they're
An
resting
opportunity.
and
Yeah.
until it's Lami's shift, and you're actually tired yourself. You're exhausted, to be specific, wounded.
Oh, yes, you are not wrong on ability checks. Not
And-
skill checks, though, thankfully.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Skill checks are ability checks.
No, they're separate, actually. I think it.
Nope.
In
Anything that says
exhaustion-
ability check covers skills and raw ability checks.
Then why does exhaustion say? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought that the third level of exhaustion specifically called out skill checks.
Nope. That's when it goes to, I think, attacks.
Well, that's fine. I have other things. Hopefully, this will be role play. Then
So now that
rolling a
we're
die.
being specific, how do you get down the rock face? Do you use a rope?
Huh. So here's my question to you, Esper. How long would it take to climb down, do I think?
Not very long. It's just 30 feet.
Vapor can get you down. He can levitate someone
You gotta.
and then lower you down gently.
What I would do then is cast the levitate on me, and I can pull myself. You don't have to like concentrate on this wall. I can like push myself along a rock face, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
While he's
probably what I'll do
levitating,
is use
though,
my hidden.
I don't think you can walk. I think you'd have to pull yourself along.
I think that's what he's
Correct.
saying. He's like pushing
Which-
himself down. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would push myself down the rock face using the levitation to basically make myself weightless.
And then
Does that make sense?
Then you'll end the levitation.
Yeah. Then once
I was thinking
Vapor can
after you get down there, because you can't just go walking along. You're levitating.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He could levitate me down. I just thought that it would be better for me to do it.
Yeah. So you
But
get
here's
down
the
to the
plan.
bottom.
I was just referring more to once you get to the bottom. If you're levitating, you don't just walk.
Vapor can cancel the spell.
But he could turn off levitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Off
yeah,
concentration.
that's right. So what I was going to suggest doing is going invisible for a round, and you levitate me down, and that way they don't have a chance of seeing me before I'm part of the on the floor, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
Rather than a floating woman, the woman might have just been, hanging out over here.
So you begin to descend Dimico, and you all are, sort of behind them or to the side. You're not in the direction that they might expect someone to come through, through the tunnel or the entrance or whatever. But that said, I mean, merely a glance or a periphery to the side would be at the rock face where you're coming down. So why don't you make a stealth check?
So check.
I'll give
Yeah.
you advantage.
Sure.
You have exhaustion, so it just evens out
Sure.
to a regular stealth check.
Correct. And does invisibility factor in?
Invisibility. I didn't know
What's that?
I didn't know you were invisible.
I can go invisible with the hidden step of my race for one
So
round
is that
till the start of my next turn.
what is it? Would that is that concentration though? Because disguise self is also concentration.
No, it's not concentration. It's a
Okay.
once per short rest. As
Okay.
a bonus action, you can magically
So,
turn
all right,
invisible
so
to the start of your
you
next turn.
Use your Firbolg camouflage and become invisible, effectively. And then
Yeah.
Vapor levitates you down there. He can probably
Yep.
get you the whole length within like a turn or two. So you get to the bottom, and you are, maybe 60 feet away from the crossroaders. And
Yeah.
your camouflage is about ready to go away. What do you do?
I'm sorry, you broke up there for me. I apologize. My internet connection.
So you got levitated down to the bottom. You're now on the cave floor. You're roughly 60 feet away from the crossroaders where they are. your camouflage is about ready to fade away. What do you do?
Well, I would probably just they're all asleep except for the one that's watching.
One is trancing. Well, all the elves are in a trance. There's a human, a dwarf, and a bugbear that are actually sleeping. You're in really dim light, beyond the bright radius of their lamps.
But there's one person on watch and it's their leader. Yes.
Lami's awake, and then there's the other crossroader elf who is trancing, and then there's a couple like minor reveler elves who are trancing. They're not specifically.
So I got you. The important information is Lonnie is on watch.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to slowly kind of creep out. Like I'm going to approach the firelight from an angle that maybe he's not necessarily watching from that angle. So like he's probably watching the way that people would come from, is my guess, because they don't know there's another way into the cavern.
Right.
I'll come up kind of from the other way and circle around to where he can see me and stay maybe like just kind of in the shadows, just a little bit, and do kind of like a little beckon to him.
Okay. Yeah, definitely make a stealth check with disadvantage.
Yeah, sure. Does the dim light give me advantage or no, he can see in the dark, right? Okay. Well, that's actually pretty good, even with disadvantage. Let me see. I have +3 stealth, so I have a 13 total.
13. Okay, so you start skirting around, staying in the darkest gloom that you can, and you haven't taken too many strides when Lami looks in your direction. Hi,
which is what I wanted.
What?
I'm sorry, you broke up again. You broke up, Esper. I'm sorry. What was that?
No, Lami is saying that to you. What? Who's there?
No, I understand. I slowly come forward into the light, and I just I'm not speaking, but I just kind of smile and make a beckoning motion to him. It's the same girl from, or a very close lookalike. Yeah.
You ready for another round, lover?
I just I wink, or I make the illusion wink, and still not saying anything because I don't want to give anything away. I just make a little come hither. And I do a kind of a turn, and
he stands up, stretches out his back, and begins to saunter over to you.
Yeah,
I make a playful little, a little playful couple half steps away to try and lead him on. See if he'll chase. And I'm leading him towards the group, towards the ledge.
He comes to you with great fervor and hunger in his eyes.
Excellent. I lead him to the ledge 60 feet away where the party is.
And then we kill him. No,
he comes right up to you, sauntering.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of lean back and look kind of upward.
He goes to take hold of the.
He feels like
of the lady.
His hands would be oddly stopped in midair as he feels some strange, soft, weird fur. Yeah, but it's dark. It's probably really dark.
Yeah, that happens.
I feel like at that point,
what the fuck? And he steps back.
And that's when I would probably attack him.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think at this point we all try and attack, right? We all try and knock him out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. If you guys, yeah.
All right. So you have drawn him 60 feet away from his group. The other three characters, Elluin, Aygir, and Esper, are 30 feet up on a rock ledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Lami got quite a shock and a startle from that, though you can see in the gloom, just however you can, there's something in his eyes where he seems to recognize what's happening here. He seems familiar with what you've just done.
Can I? Yeah, no, that's fine. I would like to grapple him.
Make an athletics check. You have disadvantage.
Yep. So the illusion of the woman is wrapping her arms around him, but really there's these giant arms which are like squeezing him into my chest so he can't really get away. I would like to use my advantage.
Please do.
All right. What's athletics, you said, which I'm trained in?
Yep.
Let's see. Athletics. I got a 19 total.
You got a 10 on acrobatics as he tries to wriggle out. Let's pause.
Roll initiative.
Yeah, we're going to pause
sure.
things here, and we're going to start next session with rolling for initiative.
With initiative.
We're starting.
All right, that sounds good.
Tommy.
That's fine. And grapple condition, just to remind everyone, is speed 0, and basically, I guess he's not restrained.
Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Speed is 0.
Yep, he is in place as you're grabbing hold of him. Woo! All right, this will be an interesting, exciting kickoff to the next session. There might be some.
I figured you'd enjoy that
for you all, and but hey, what would an adventure be without surprises and danger?
Indeed.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Go check out my Kickstarter. It has just a few days left. The book has all kinds of things in there that will fill your games with wonder and inspiration and some weirdness too.
And you can go and stretch
I'm really looking forward to my copy.
I'm looking forward to mine as well.
I'm looking for the day where on the stream you guys are holding up your books. That's going to be
for sure.
That will seriously be a dream come true for me. All right.
I'm sure it's coming. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Yep.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.